Good morning. It is Wednesday, August 13th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for being with us. Ainsley McPhail is going to tell us all about the Japanese pavilion as she continues her tour of Folklorama this week. So we're going to have details on that and more. But first, your headlines. From Manitoba's fields to Beijing's trading tables, Canada's canola is the latest casualty in a growing tariff dispute with China and is hitting farmers here at home. Air Canada flight attendants may strike this Saturday over pay and work rules. We'll show you how the lockout notice and canceled flights could impact travelers. And goat or sheepdog? Lil's not sure, but she's giving it her all on the farm.
Okay, here's a look outside this morning. Yeah, we got a few extra clouds hanging around. It looks all right, though. I mean, overall, it's not too smoky. And, yeah. I'll take this as a bit of a win for today. It's looking not too bad as we kick off our morning. Hey, the sun will be up soon. It's not up yet. We are still in the dark right now, so once the sun rises, it's going to start to look a little bit better as well. Temperature-wise, it's 10 degrees right now in Winnipeg. That's where Morton Winkler are also sitting, Dauphin as well. And then we've got 11 degrees for Portage, Pinawa, Kenora right now. And some slightly cooler single digits, Sprague, Gimli at 9 degrees, and even cooler yet, Brandon starting out at 8 degrees. Just for a reference point, a normal low would be around 12. So some places a little bit cooler than that to kick things off. And then there's northern Manitoba. Many of you in the single digits through the northeast. Northwestern Manitoba is just a little bit warmer into the double digits, but barely 11, 12 degrees for the Paw and Flin Flon respectively. Not much to show you here with the warnings map. This is great news. All of the warnings regarding the smoke have been lifted. Things are looking a little bit cleaner and clearer out there this morning. There are just a few clouds that we'll deal with throughout the day today, but once that sun rises, we'll be enjoying that as well. So a mix of sun and cloud. Parts of northern Manitoba, though, a bit of a different story, especially in the northwest. You could be seeing another round of precipitation. We will welcome this. It will continue to help us out in that battle against the blazes. And then here's a look tomorrow morning. It does look like we're going to be seeing a fair bit of activity right down into central Manitoba. We may find ourselves getting clipped with that briefly, more so into the afternoon, a better chance of some precipitation to roll through as well. And then it's back to clear conditions, which we'll enjoy pretty much all throughout the weekend. Temperature-wise, 25 degrees. That's normal for this time of year. We'll be just shy of it today, bounce above it, and then back into moderate temperatures for the weekend.
Thanks, Terry. Manitoba farmers are once again caught in the crosshairs of a trade dispute. China is tacking a nearly 76% duty on Canadian canola imports. As CTV's Daniel Halmerston shows you, it's retaliation after Canada imposed tariffs on Chinese electric vehicle imports last summer.
Curtis McRae has been planting these fields northwest of Selkirk for nearly 40 years. And he says Manitoba summers typically turn canola crops into cash.
It has the right amount of heat, the right amount of not so heat sometimes to make a really nice oil product at the end of the day.
However, this growing season has been riddled with uncertainty.
The drought really hit us hard, and canola really needed a lot more water than it got.
And the hits just keep on coming for McRae and thousands of other canola farmers in Manitoba. On Tuesday, China announced it is imposing a 75.8% duty on Canadian canola imports, the latest blow in a trade dispute between the two countries.
Now that we're on the cusp of harvest is, well, just one more thing to throw on my shoulders or one more thing to forget about until harvest is done.
According to the province, Manitoba farmers plant around 3.3 million acres of canola annually. The crop accounts for nearly a quarter of all farm cash receipts in Manitoba, and canola seed exports generate more than $1 billion for Manitoba's economy in an average year.
That'll be a prohibitive tariff. That will likely stop trade. We cannot absorb that kind of extra costs in selling canola to China.
McRae says if Canada and China can't strike a deal soon, many farmers will need to pivot.
I think the biggest shift you'd see would be a shift to soybeans or even wheat right now, because all three of those products pretty much come into the same dollars per acre.
But for now, his focus is getting these crops harvested.
Another beatdown on the farmer who has very little political influence, but at the end of the day, put our head down, get some work done, and see what happens, because, I mean, the goal of every farmer is to try again next year.
Premier Wamkanu says his government is reaching out to people in the agriculture sector, and he says they will offer support through a farm income stabilization program. The family of 2 children who drowned in Northern Ontario is calling for mandatory swimming lessons for kids.
I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. It should never have happened.
12-year-old Jocelyn Grant and 15-year-old Caden Grant died July 31st. According to family, the two were playing in a park near a river in Dryden, east of Canola. Jocelyn was drawn to some clams near the river and slipped in, and Caden jumped in to save her. Neither knew how to swim very well and drowned. The family is starting a foundation in their memory. Water Wings helps families pay for basic swimming lessons for young children.
Kids really do need to learn how to swim, even if they're in the middle of the city and they don't go to the beach. Even if that's not something, you never know what's going to happen. And water is everywhere. We live in Ontario. Water's everywhere here. So for the safety of your children, you really need to get them into even just very basic survival swimming skills.
The family is also petitioning Ontario Premier Doug Ford to include swimming lessons into the elementary school curriculum. A new study out of Ontario suggests mandated nurse-to-patient ratios could cut healthcare costs and save lives. Researchers looked at jurisdictions such as California, British Columbia, and Australia, where mandated staffing standards are in place, and compared them to hospitals in Ontario. They say the evidence shows death rates go up by 7% for every additional patient assigned to a nurse. And hospitals in Pennsylvania noticed there were thousands of fewer infections after introducing mandatory nursing ratios, saving tens of millions of dollars a year. Manitoba doesn't currently have mandated ratios, but a subcommittee made up of government, nurses union, and health authority representatives began exploring the idea earlier this year.
Just as the report stated, the evidence is clear that mortality rates for patients drop when we have nurse-patient ratios. We know that readmissions are less likely. And we also know that when it comes to nursing and quality of life, there's much less burnout. And we know that retention and recruitment absolutely is so much better.
MNU President Arlene Jackson says the subcommittee has a January 1st deadline to release its recommendations, and she's hopeful the province will accept them. New this morning, Air Canada flight attendants have served a 72-hour strike notice to the airline. The union says it gave notice to both Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge early this morning. The move means more than 10,000 flight attendants can walk off the job at 12:58 a.m. Eastern on Saturday if a deal is not reached. In response, the union says Air Canada issued a lockout notice for 1:30 in the morning on Saturday. Air Canada said yesterday it reached an impasse in negotiations after the union declined to enter a binding arbitration process. The two sides have been negotiating a new collective agreement since March. The key issues are wages, work rules, and unpaid hours. For travelers, Air Canada says any canceled flights will be eligible for a full refund. Is it cute or scary? Maybe both. Either way, Labubu's are the item of the summer and also one of the hottest targets for thieves. Police in Southern California just tracked down thousands of dollars worth of the trendy toy. Investigators recovered around $30,000 worth of Labubus, which had been snatched from a warehouse. They also found evidence that the suspects were planning to resell them. The collectible plush toys have exploded in popularity this year and are highly sought after by collectors. In the United Kingdom, a baby goat is trying to find some work as a sheepdog. Lil the goat loves trying to round up sheep on her farm. Her owners say she was rejected by her mother at birth and was taken in by the farm's sheepdogs. Now she's convinced she's one of them and is even starting to understand some commands from her owner. She's sweet. Well, get ready for a magical evening at the Burton Cummings Theatre in November. Masters of Illusion returns to wow audiences this fall. Some of the world's greatest award-winning magicians perform modern illusions and arts of deception live on stage. Also enjoy hysterical comedy magic as performers from around the world combine fantasy, fervor, and flair. For 7 years, Masters of Illusion has toured 126 countries. The show is scheduled for Sunday, November 9th at the Burton Cummings Theatre. Tickets go on sale this Friday. Visit ticketmaster.ca. Here's a look at what's going on outside in traffic at Confusion Corner. Looks like things are starting off really well here for your Wednesday morning. If you see any issues out on the streets, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We are talking about Folklorama. Today you are visiting the Japanese Pavilion. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. I'm so pumped. And I just as I was saying that, I should have asked to learn how to say that in Japanese. I only know a few words, but luckily if I come to the pavilion, I might be able to brush up on my skills. You know, ich, ni, san, shi, go is all I know because I did judo as a kid. You got to come to this pavilion. We're going to be learning about the food. We're going to be learning about a very prominent drumming group called Hinode Taiko. We're actually going to get some live performances from them as well. We're going to be learning about the community. 125 million people live in Japan. Over 1,600 people who identify as Japanese heritage live in Winnipeg. So it's a celebration of culture and all of the organizations that make something like this possible, including volunteers. Folklorama, there's only so many days left for you to take advantage of the sushi and the green tea and all the other great tasty treats. You might want to stop here.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll check in later. Out on the rooftop, Terry, it was kind of a nice start to the day, and then it got hazy. How's it smelling out there right now?
It's feeling fine, smelling fine. Well, it feels a little cool, but it's smelling fine and it's looking good. The clouds are starting to light up all pretty and pink. The sun isn't up yet, but that'll be happening in about 4 minutes' time. It's 6:15 this morning, 9 degrees right now. So yes, the temperatures are below seasonal, but at least there's no wind out here this morning, none whatsoever at this time. The pressure rising, the humidity is sitting at 100%. So sure, we've got these cool and below seasonal temperatures to kick things off, but what a nice time to maybe crack a window in your home and let some of this fresh air in. It's nice to get both cooler temperatures and smoke-free air. And in fact, those smoke warnings have been lifted across the entire province. It doesn't mean it's going to be 100% right throughout all areas. But we aren't dealing with any of those warnings or even statements, advisories regarding the smoke. There will be parts of northwestern Manitoba who will likely see a little bit of precipitation today and then a little more expected for tomorrow. And we too could be seeing some precipitation tomorrow, showers or possible thunderstorms with a little bump up in those temps for tomorrow. But today, a little below what you might expect, topping out at about 23 this afternoon. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more on CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. It is 6:15. Evacuees from Snow Lake may learn as early as today when they can expect to return home. The town says council members returned to the community Monday and met with the Manitoba Wildfire Service and Emergency Management Office last night to discuss estimated timelines for re-entry. According to its latest update, Snow Lake says high winds have reactivated some sections of the nearby wildfire, but are not threatening any priority areas. Stopping a wildfire before it even begins, that's the goal of a community initiative in southern Manitoba. And now new funding will help make it happen. CTV's Danton Unger explains.
Fighting fire with fire. That's what this group of residents in the RM of Stewartburn is doing to protect their community from wildfires.
We've had fires through here, 70, 80, 90 kilometer-hour winds, and it's scary. That is very scary.
Laura Reeves is the vice president of the Stewartburn Prescribed Burn Association. The volunteer group aims to stop wildfires before they can even begin by conducting prescribed burns to remove dried or dead vegetation and brush.
The idea is that we will be reducing the fuel load, if not eliminating it. So there will be nothing for a wildfire to catch.
Now the group is getting a big boost to get that work done.
This is the way of the future.
On Tuesday, Intact Insurance handed the association more than $116,000 through its Municipal Climate Resiliency Grant. Reeves says this money will fully equip the prescribed burn team with gear and training to conduct at least 5 prescribed burns across 100 acres.
This is a godsend to us.
Area Reeve Michelle Goronsky says Stewartburn is the only municipality in Manitoba to receive the grant, which was awarded to just 19 communities across Canada.
We look around at other provinces across the country and the wildfires that are destroying so much of our lands. The RM of Stewartburn has lived through that.
In May, Stewartburn's neighboring municipality of Piney was forced to evacuate hundreds of residents due to an out-of-control blaze. It was just the beginning of what has become the worst wildfire season in the last 30 years for Manitoba. Goronsky believes initiatives like this could make all the difference in municipalities' wildfire fights.
I absolutely believe that this is the future, the way municipalities are going to have to move forward in having the fire protection that we are going to need.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The federal government is now pledging an extra $45.7 million for wildfire prevention and risk assessment projects.
People that want to do more about wildfires than Canadians. We are being affected every day in very severe ways. We've seen this in the smoke that clogs our cities. We've seen this in our communities that are evacuated.
The money will go to 30 research projects nationwide with the hopes of also improving fire knowledge and forestry practices. The groups running the projects include nonprofits, private organizations, provincial governments, and Indigenous groups. There are now nearly 730 wildfires raging across Canada, the second worst wildfire season ever recorded. Hundreds of more people have been told to leave their homes for safety as a fire burns near St. John's.
Kids, so we're taking sentimental stuff belonging to them because we don't know where our house is going to be gone, and we need to make sure they still have some of their childhood with them.
Thousands more people are being told to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. There are 9 active wildfires in the province right now. The latest is in the Spaniards Bay area, which started yesterday. Prime Minister Mark Carney has told Newfoundland and Labrador Premier John Hogan the federal government is ready to provide more help if needed.
Definitely hitting home. It's a little close to home for me, and I definitely don't want to see it go any further. At the beginning of the year, we were getting rain every single weekend, and everybody was complaining, and now we can't get enough rain. We've had next to no rain this entire month, and it's something we definitely need.
In the Halifax area, the Bayers Lake wildfire forced some businesses and a medical clinic to evacuate Tuesday. 13 fire trucks, helicopters, and water bombers all responded. Provincial officials say progress is being made fighting the fire, but it's still classified as out of control. Drone operators are also being told to stop flying in the area as it puts firefighting aircraft at risk. In New Brunswick, the province's largest fire near Miramichi has tripled in size. The province is asking people to conserve water since the combination of high temperatures and a lack of rain has left water levels low. A wildfire burning near Moncton is also out of control. Nova Scotia has sent firefighters to New Brunswick to help. PEI is the only province without an active wildfire right now. The province has also sent crews to New Brunswick to help.
Personnel from the Haliburton Fire Management Headquarters are responding to the fire with 5 fire ranger crews and air attack. The fire is not under control.
Farmers are actively moving their animals to safety as a wildfire near Kirkfield, Ontario burns. The fire started Monday and is about 33 hectares now. That's about 6.5 times the size of Toronto's Rogers Centre. It's now bigger than another wildfire between Bobcaygeon and Kinmount. There are no evacuation orders in place, but the city of Kawartha Lakes says it has resources, community centers, and public buildings on standby to house people if that becomes necessary. Here's a look now what's going on at Kenaston and Sterling Lyon. It looks like a good start so far. No issues to tell you about. If you see problems out there, though, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Here's a look right now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. That looks gorgeous out there, doesn't it? Beautiful start to the day, very few clouds. Sun, it's up now, but only as of 5 minutes, so it hasn't made its way above the buildings in the downtown area, but still, it's looking good out there. Feeling okay if you're properly dressed for it, so throw a sweater on or an extra layer before you head out because it is cool and below seasonal, but great to crack that window and let that fresh air into your home. 9 degrees right now in Winnipeg and in Sprague and in Gimli, 8 degrees over in Brandon, so even cooler yet. So a few of us now are below seasonal, with 12 being that normal low. In fact, most of southern Manitoba, even if you are in the double digits, most of us are below seasonal with the exception of Melita and Canola coming in at 12 degrees right now. Taking a look through northern Manitoba, and we've got single digits all through the northeastern part, slightly milder double digits through northwestern Manitoba right now. This is such great news. Happy to show you this map that has nothing on it. You're like, why are you showing us? Because most of this season, it's been some color, mostly purple, sometimes yellow. There's nothing to show you right now. Air quality has improved drastically across the province, so that's good news for us. Hopefully it'll stay that way. Cloud-wise, just a few of those out there, a few more clouds up into parts of northern Manitoba. That's where there's likely going to be a bit of precipitation today, some showers, maybe some thunderstorms up throughout the northwest. Here's our noontime temperatures today. And while northern Manitoba is just into the double digits, we're into the high teens by noontime and pushing another few degrees to around 23. That's slightly below seasonal. 25, that's a normal daytime high. So just missing it slightly today, but tomorrow we should make it there, maybe even surpass it. But we then have the chance of showers or thunderstorms before we watch these temperatures settle down and look good throughout the weekend. This little frog taking a ride on the deck out there. Kevin chose our picture this morning. Thank you for that. Cindy took the shot, and we appreciate you. Keep sending them to us, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
A group of Canadian teens is headed to the Netherlands. They'll be representing Canada at an ultra-competitive tug-of-war championship. CTV's Scott Miller reports.
With each practice, the Blue Water Youth Tug-of-War team is getting themselves ready to take on some of the best tug-of-war teams in the world.
It's a huge deal for us, you know. We're going to the Netherlands. It's a different country, so we know that the competition is going to be really hard over there because, you know, we've just been around here doing competitions in North America, and that's, you know, a small area. But now that we're going on, like, the world stage and against a whole bunch of other countries around the world, it's just a bigger deal, and we're really excited to show off what we got.
Hoffman is one of 10 members of the Blue Water Youth Tug-of-War team headed to the International Tug-of-War Tournament in the Netherlands on August the 30th. Very few North American teams ever get to participate, but this group of 10 to 17-year-olds who train bi-weekly near Dashwood have won the last 3 U23 North American Tug-of-War Championships, so they are eager to take on stiffer competition overseas.
Yep, the future of tug-of-war in Canada. Hopefully we can get it to grow back to what some of the countries like Switzerland and the Netherlands have with, you know, memberships in the thousands, but you got to start here.
Blue Water has always had a strong senior tug-of-war team, but building up a junior squad has been a slow and steady process, convincing kids they don't need to be 250 pounds of pure muscle in order to participate.
It's more about technique and having multiple people on the rope. More people on the rope that you can fit underneath the weight limit, the better you are.
It's really all in the legs. You just have to pull what you can.
Tug-of-war is totally inclusive, but you just have to be strong for your weight, whether it's 100 pounds or 300 pounds. You're accountable for every pound of that on the rope, and that goes towards your team weight. So, you know, it's all relative, right?
Blue Water's youth tug-of-war team leaves for the Netherlands in just a couple weeks as they ready to represent Canada at the world's biggest tug-of-war competition for kids.
Yeah, it's so cool. Being able to tell people that you're going to represent our country is the coolest thing to be able to say. So
I'm really excited. I feel like it's a good opportunity for teamwork and just to represent Canada.
It's explosive power. Yeah, the kids are ready.
In Huron County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Join us as we visit the Japanese pavilion. We're going to say goodbye, going to the break. We'll see you after this.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Ooh, that's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, beautiful. 9 degrees, calm winds right now, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 100%. That sky is absolutely stunning. Very few clouds out there, but best news of all, no smoke. 24 kilometers visibility right now, and I know I'm showing you an empty map, but I feel this in itself is a little bit of news. The fact that there are no warnings throughout the entire province, we are in the clear as far as that heavy smoke goes. Now, few clouds, certainly, and maybe a few more through northern Manitoba. Very few for us here in the south. I mean, we just looked outside and how stunning of that was. But for northern Manitoba, a few more clouds for you and perhaps some precipitation in the northwestern part of the province as well. We're looking at a mix of sun and cloud today here across southern Manitoba. 23 degrees. Now that is a little bit shy of seasonal, so too is our 9 degrees that we're kicking things off. But what a nice way to be able to crack the window at your home and let some fresh air in, keep your space cool. Sometimes we've been, you know, getting these nice cool temperatures and wanting to crack the window, but it's been so smoky outside. Today, it's perfect. So 23 degrees is what we're looking at for a high, down to 16 overnight. This actually keeps us above seasonal overnight and ahead of a hot day tomorrow. 28 degrees expected. There is a chance of showers or maybe thunderstorms and much stronger winds expected. But then after that, temperatures moderate once again, and we're back into those really pleasant low to mid 20s with a fair bit of sunshine to last throughout the weekend and carry us into next week.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg police credit DNA evidence for an arrest in a number of break-ins this spring. Police say someone broke into 3 apartment buildings in the St. Vital and Windsor Park areas March 24th. More than $3,000 worth of damage was reported, and the thief made off with mail, bicycles, and other property from inside storage lockers. Investigators were able to collect a DNA sample and match it to someone on the convicted offender index. A 33-year-old man was arrested Monday and remains in custody. It's the next step in completing the twinning of the Trans-Canada Highway in eastern Manitoba. The Manitoba government and Four Winds Partnership signed a memorandum of understanding Tuesday. The MOU was signed near Canola and outlines a shared commitment to work together in the planning and design of the proposed twinning of 16 kilometers of Highway 1 between Falcon Lake and the Manitoba-Ontario boundary. The highway is in Treaty 3 territory. Four Winds Partnership represents several Treaty 3 First Nations. It's already been working with the Ontario government on the highway twinning in Ontario, which is now underway. The Manitoba project is years away from completion. The province is now considering the most viable route with a design study that would take several years to complete. The City of Winnipeg is looking for some people to fill vacancies on its boards and committees. The annual selection process is underway to find volunteers for a number of positions, including ones on the Winnipeg Public Library Board, Human Rights Committee, Winnipeg Arts Council, and several museums. Canadian citizens and permanent residents 18 and older can apply. Terms range from 1 to 3 years, and meeting frequency is dependent on the board. The deadline to submit an application through the City Clerk's Department is October 17th at 4:30 p.m. We have an update on the man charged with dangerous driving in a crash that killed a father of 3. The 18-year-old is also accused of crashing into a vehicle carrying Ontario's premier in January and was in court on Tuesday. CTV's John Woodward has more.
Jaywin Kirubananthan appeared in Newmarket Court by phone Tuesday afternoon in advance of a bail hearing Wednesday. He's charged with several counts, including dangerous driving causing death, and accused of fleeing the scene after a horrific head-on crash earlier this month that claimed the life of Andrew Cristillo and seriously injured his wife and 3 daughters, 7-year-old Leah, 6-year-old Chloe, and 4-year-old Ella.
The girls are recovering from life-altering injuries. It's very difficult.
And it wasn't the first crash. Kirubananthan was also charged back in January with dangerous driving in a collision with a car carrying Ontario's premier. A family member at Kirubananthan's Oshawa home referred questions to his lawyer. We took a look at that driver's history here at the Oshawa courthouse. It turns out after that crash with the premier's car, he was charged with dangerous driving under the criminal code and stunt driving under the Highway Traffic Act. While he likely faced a 30-day initial suspension for the stunt driving charge, there were no further conditions imposed on his driving pending his criminal trial. That's astonishing, says road safety advocate Jess Speaker.
In a case where a driver is charged with dangerous driving, why on earth do we allow them to continue driving?
Cristillo's wife, Christina, has been diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. Her family has lost its main breadwinner. She wrote on a GoFundMe page, "I've been fighting breast cancer for the past few years, doing everything I can to be here for my daughters. Now I'm facing the unimaginable, raising them without their dad while still fighting for my own health."
Their mother is a hero, has been from day one, and I know she's there for those children and will.
That page has so far raised more than $350,000. John Woodward, CTV News.
Canada has now joined an international call for unrestricted aid to be allowed into Gaza. 24 countries signed the document that says the humanitarian suffering in Gaza has reached unimaginable levels and that urgent action is needed to halt and reverse starvation. Gaza's health ministry says in the last 24 hours, 89 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli fire, and 5 more people, including 2 children, have died of starvation and malnutrition. The territory's Hamas-run civil defense agency says Gaza City has come under intense air attack as Israeli forces prepare to launch an operation to take over the city. A new vintage shop has opened in time for Halifax Fashion Week.
I find it's more sustainable and affordable way to get clothing that's going to last a while and not just like tear after a few weeks.
The store started as a side business for the owner, Madeline, but it's grown into a real bricks and mortar store. Her hope is that she can show that high fashion can also be sustainable and environmentally friendly. She's even getting a chance to show that on the runway at her own show this year. Here's a look now what's happening outside on the Norwood Bridge. Looks like things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about. It's a gorgeous start to the day. And taking a look now at your gas prices, the Canadian average is $1.36, while the provincial and Winnipeg averages are lower at $1.33. The lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.27. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
We're visiting the Japanese pavilion this morning. Folklorama, of course, is in its second week, Ainsley, and that's a really good one to visit as well. Good morning.
Rochelle, they just put the miso soup down, and I can smell it. It's like permeating off of the table right now. It's the perfect Japanese breakfast. I'm really pumped to be here alongside Deborah and Nicholas, the co-pavilion coordinators. When it comes to the food, I guess I'm just blown away by what we have in front of us. Tell us about what's on the menu.
Well, I think the food is really where our Japanese pavilion has a great opportunity to shine. We've got a few different options here. Just if we wanted to quickly pan over the nikudon, which is a Japanese beef over rice dish, chicken teriyaki, which is something everybody should be familiar with by now. I think it's made its way into everyone's homes at least once or twice, and then miso soup. On the left there, a staple of Japanese breakfast. So we get a really good picture of the different cuisines you see throughout Japan.
And you guys were gonna, because I said there's a Japanese soda here. What differs that from a soda that's not?
Yeah, it's a really fun little soda. It's called ramune. And what makes it unique is there's a marble in the top of the bottle. And when you open the bottle, you're pushing the marble down into the hourglass shape. And so it's a really fun drink. And it also comes in a lot of fun colors, as you can see, and flavors.
Okay, at the end, we'll try and open it. Yes. When it comes to the pavilion itself, the theme this year really underlines local organizations. And that's what, builds this. It was one of the first pavilions here back in the early 70s. Let's talk about how local is rallying around it this year.
Yes, and that's correct. We were one of the original pavilions. So all of our performers are local. So we have Hinode Taiko, who we'll see later in the morning. They are a local taiko drumming group. Fabulous part of the community. Great draw. We also have some local businesses who are vendors here, and then our cultural display is all about our local organizations. So we've got the Japanese Language School through the Japanese Cultural Association of Manitoba. We've got some of our martial arts set up. There's an origami table. So all of our presenters and all of our performers are local.
Mm-hmm. We're almost out of time. We have just seconds left. Maybe you'll help me open this one up. Or actually, which one do you want, Joseph? I'm not going to drink it.
So
I see the ball.
Yeah, it's a fun little activity. You just take this part apart, and then we're pushing it down into the bottle. Oh, you have to push quite hard.
Because you want mom and dad to do it, not kids, so that they don't have 100 of them. Maybe not breakfast, but.
Very cool. All right, thank you, Ainsley. Out on the rooftop now, the sun is shining. It's a gorgeous start to the day.
You are so right about that, Rochelle. Both of those things. The sun is shining, and what a gorgeous start to the day. No smoke, but I know the winds are showing calm right now. If I had to guess, it's an east wind, just a slight one. But that's what my nose is telling me this morning. 9 degrees is where we're sitting right now. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 100%. But I'm not smelling smoke, so that is good news. Clear conditions, the smoke warnings, they've been lifted across the entire province. I'd probably rather be smelling smoke, to be honest with you. No, that is a joke. Obviously, we are so grateful to be having the clearer, smoke-free day. And it does look like it's going to be really pleasant with temperatures not quite hot, but just really comfortable. I know it's a little bit cool to kick things off at 9 degrees, but 23 to kind of end the day, that's pleasant. A lot of people who don't like those mid to high 20 temperatures, this will be your kind of day. And we're gonna get back to these kind of days as well. Today will certainly be one, and a sunny one here through the south. Northwestern Manitoba, you might see a little bit of precipitation rolling through. Northeastern Manitoba, you're going to enjoy the sunshine, but even cooler temperatures, probably in the mid-teens. We got a little bit of a spike with the temps tomorrow, a little bit of precipitation to come, and then we're getting back to this kind of weather as we look ahead to the weekend. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more on CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Looking at early markets before the opening bell, Dow futures are up 147 points. NASDAQ futures are up 53 points in pre-market trading. S&P 500 futures are also pointing higher, up 12. In currency news, the Canadian dollar is seeing a slight dip this morning. Overseas markets are climbing as well. Hong Kong's Hang Seng is up 643. Japan's Nikkei is surging 556 points. Good morning, it is 6:45. A new study out of Ontario suggests mandated nurse-to-patient ratios could cut healthcare costs and save lives. Researchers looked at jurisdictions such as California, British Columbia, and Australia, where mandated staffing standards are in place, and compared them to hospitals in Ontario. They say the evidence shows death rates go up by 7% for every additional patient assigned to a nurse. And hospitals in Pennsylvania noticed there were thousands of fewer infections after introducing mandatory nursing ratios, saving tens of millions of dollars a year. Manitoba doesn't currently have mandated ratios, but a subcommittee made up of government, nurses union, and health authority representatives began exploring the idea earlier this year.
Just as the report stated, the evidence is clear that mortality rates for patients drop when we have nurse-patient ratios. We know that readmissions are less likely. And we also know that when it comes to nursing and quality of life, there's much less burnout. And we know that retention and recruitment absolutely is so much better.
MNU President Darlene Jackson says the subcommittee has a January 1st deadline to release its recommendations, and she's hopeful the province will accept them. A special treat for Winnipeg Blue Bombers fans as the team gets ready to celebrate our armed forces. A CF-18 Hornet fighter jet will conduct a flyby over Princess Auto Stadium Thursday night. It's part of 409 Squadron from 4 Wing in Cold Lake, Alberta, and will arrive between 7:30 and 10:30 p.m. depending on the weather and flying conditions. The Canadian Armed Forces game will see the Bombers take on the Ottawa Red Blacks. Game time is 7:30 p.m. Not one, not two, but 3. A local cheesemaker near Steinbach brought 3 medals home after winning gold in a North American cheese competition. CTV's Harrison Shin was down at their creamery.
First place, then they called our name, so it was like, oh my goodness.
Meet Fabiola Della Pria, a local cheesemaker who made Manitoba proud.
So we won first best fresh cheese into the Spanish-Portuguese category of North America. So all the way from Mexico to here, we are the best fresh cheese.
And no one can stop her.
We also won on 3rd place for best grilling cheese of North America for the Spanish category, and then best season spread as well. Third place best season spread.
She cannot hide her excitement.
This category here over, I think, close to 30 different cheeses of the very same special kind. So we won over everybody. So it's very nice to have a title like that.
The award ceremony was surreal for her.
I was like still shaking from the first place, and I was hearing my name from the other, because the categories were like very close together. So I was hearing like that we won again, and then we won again. So we won 3 out of the 4 submissions we sent.
But a local wholesaler and grocer is not surprised.
It's very versatile, so a lot of restaurants are using it on their dishes, on their plates, really promoting local. So I was super excited when she won the gold medal in North America, which is amazing.
Now, Della Pria is looking to expand.
We're actually in talks to send this to Vancouver and Quebec right now. So soon, Quebecois and Vancouver will be able to try our cheeses as well.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Steinbach.
If you'd like to get Fabiola's cheese, head to any of the DeLuca locations in Winnipeg. Another way to get it this week is over at the Brazilian Pavilion of Folklorama. A cargo ship is floating in low water this morning after getting stuck in the St. Lawrence River near Montreal.
The St. Lawrence is fed by 2 main regulated watersheds, the Great Lakes and the Ottawa River. So the lack of precipitation creates less water in those bodies of water, and then less in the St. Lawrence River as well.
The ship ran aground after a total engine failure yesterday, and although the low water levels in the St. Lawrence weren't to blame, it's definitely not helping the situation. This crucial shipping channel is under close low water level surveillance. Large boats have been ordered to slow down, and many have been told to carry less cargo. 37 metric tons of goods normally travels through here each year, so this traffic jam and lack of water could deliver a hit to the supply chain. The Coast Guard says it's not clear how long the vessel will be stuck. Here's a look at what's happening on McPhillips Street. Things are moving well over here, and no issues to tell you about at this point.
Ooh, that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Honestly, every time we glance outside, it's looking prettier and prettier. 9 degrees right now, calm winds with the pressure rising and the humidity at 100%. It is a beautiful start to the day. The thing that I'm most excited to show you is a map with nothing on it. Why is this news? Because nearly every day since probably like late May or mid-June, sometime around then, we've had activity on this map. This is the map that shows the warnings regarding all of this smoke. There is nothing to show you this morning, and that in itself, I feel, is news. Probably the best news of the day, if you ask me. For northern Manitoba, you can see the extra clouds up there. You might see a little bit of precipitation. Most other places, mix of sun and cloud. However, it will be a little bit cooler today, but this too might be good news to a lot of folks who maybe don't like the heat of summer. We are starting to see some slightly cooler days now that'll last through most of this week. So mid-teens expected through most of the northeast with a mix of sun and cloud. But I mentioned those heavier clouds could come with some precipitation here in the northwest. There is a chance of showers, maybe even some thunderstorms. Again, mid-teens expected. Once we're starting to look into southern Manitoba, 25 degrees would be normal for this time of year. Nipawa, Brandon might be just beyond that today with mainly sunny conditions. There will be slightly heavier clouds through central Manitoba. Further into the south, more of a mix of sun and cloud. We'll be missing the mark of those seasonal temperatures just by a couple degrees, topping out at about 23 here in Winnipeg, and maybe even a little bit cooler yet across that border with the possibility of some scattered showers through parts of northwestern Ontario. Showers or thunderstorms could make an appearance tomorrow with some slightly hotter temperatures, but only for a day. On the other side of that, the sunshine returns and pleasant low to mid 20 temperatures expected through the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. A 92-year-old pilot soared over Cooking Lake yesterday, flying the same kind of plane that started his career in the Royal Canadian Air Force. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports, the flight happened because of a chance meeting and an act of kindness.
It's been 70 years since Ron DeHolke flew inside a Harvard aircraft. He trained in this type of plane as a pilot in 1956 for the Royal Canadian Air Force.
The training program was leading to the fact that if there was a war, you were going to be able to fly a fighter, you know, and defend your country, so to speak.
Last weekend, DeHolke struck up a conversation with pilot Brock Allison at the Cooking Lake Airport. It just so happened Allison owns the same type of iconic plane DeHolke once flew in.
Brock was nice enough to offer me a ride, so here we are.
Giving the former pilot a chance to fly again was a no-brainer.
People like Ron, you know, are a connection with history. Here's a real live person that used to fly these planes and was training in the Air Force.
Standing beside the yellow plane turned the clock back 7 decades.
I've got that same feeling again today because it's been such a long time since I've been in one. So I feel like I'm starting all over again almost.
With a bit of help, he's back inside the cockpit. How do you feel?
Excited, just nervous, happy.
Ready for takeoff.
He still remembers the power settings that he would use for takeoff, climb, cruise, aerobatics.
Taking a try at the control wheel in the air, DeHolke is transported back to his 20s, grateful for a chance to relive his past.
Brock, I am so thankful I can't even express it.
A smooth ride all around, with only one regret.
I didn't want to do a loop. I should have tried one, but I'm chicken. But man, it was fantastic.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
The next generation of entrepreneurs in Ontario are getting a little help from business owners. They're learning when life gives you lemons, you need to come up with a business plan. CTV's Ashley Bacon explains.
Here you go, sir. Thank you. You're welcome. learning the foundation of operating a business.
And also I feel like the key to success was teamwork.
Owen and his sister Emma have been operating a lemonade and snack stand in the Country Hills neighborhood of Kitchener. This summer, they've taken it to the next level, thanks in part to the team at local Domino's locations.
They come in with a lot of awesome ideas. We've had kids come in with posters before, drawings. I've had some kids come in with resumes, and they're just excited about it as we are.
They're partnering with local families to offer a slice of creativity while learning about entrepreneurship.
They gave us like the hats and the coupons, and they told us we could sell it for like how much we wanted. Our business plan was we were going to go out there with a smile and sell as much as we can.
For mom Brett Lee Jones, she's happy to see her children gaining new knowledge.
They also wanted to do things like selling freezies. So how much is a box of freezies going to cost? How much are we going to sell them for? And profit. So it was really neat watching them talk about that and, you know, argue about pricing and stuff like that.
The team at Domino's Waterloo region and surrounding areas has been offering the mentorship program for the last 4 years. Helping around 100 families develop their own lemonade stands in the process. A partnership giving these budding business owners the confidence to take on future challenges.
Because I like all the compliments on how much manners I have and how I'm a great entrepreneur. Lemonade, come buy some lemonade.
For young entrepreneurs like Owen and Emma, they get to learn skills along the way. But for the community, we get to cool down on a hot summer's day. Delicious. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Kitchener.
Looks good. Well, get ready for the Ultimate Hoops Showdown at Canada Life Centre. We're giving you a chance to score 4 tickets to the thrilling CEBL Championship weekend featuring the Winnipeg Sea Bears. Catch all the action starting August 22nd with an epic conference finals doubleheader at 7:30 p.m. plus the nail-biting championship final on Sunday, August 24th at 6 p.m. Head over to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and hit our contest page for all the entry details. Don't miss your shot. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. It is 7 a.m. on Wednesday, August 13th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for being with us. We are going to continue our journey of the Japanese Pavilion this morning with Ainsley McPhail, but we're also at 7:52 going to hear about how when elders from some of the northern communities that were evacuated were brought here to Winnipeg, some of their traditional meals were no longer available to them. So we're going to find out a little bit more on what MKO did to provide and prepare some special meals for the elders who were here. We're going to tell you more about that, as well as some of the dishes that were served. But first, your headlines. Caught in the crosshairs, how new duties on Canadian canola will impact Manitoba farmers. Plus, feeling the heat, why CAA is seeing a spike in calls for service this summer. And a Labubu heist, how a trendy toy has become a target for thieves. Bringing in Terry now.
I saw a post about those. Yes. I'm not that familiar with them. They're over $100.
I know, but they're super cute. My daughter is crazy about them. I think they're cute. Some people think they're creepy. I guess it depends which one you get.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess this is the new Beanie Babies. Is that it?
Or the Moshishi.
Oh, that's what Director Kim said. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I mean, whatever, right? As soon as there's a demand, you can pump those prices up.
Oh, yes.
Let's switch it up to the weather, shall we? Because it's beautiful outside. Here's a look at what I'm talking about. Gorgeous start to your morning. 9 degrees right now, no winds whatsoever. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 100%. Just a few clouds and no smoke. I'm so happy to show off this empty map for us today. Your lake is not completely empty. That's right, parts of Saskatchewan, but it's kind of way off in West Saskatchewan. We're in the clear. Visibility is back to the 24 clicks that is normal, and it's smelling fresh and clean out there, although I say that, and then I was talking about the east wind, so downtown always takes on a bit of an aroma. But in many places, you're not affected by that east wind, so you're probably waking up thinking, oh, this feels good. Sure, and it will, so long as the smoke stays away. We got another round of rain to move into parts of northwestern Manitoba. With those extra clouds, there's some precipitation to go along with it. Really just the northwest. Otherwise, you're going to see a mix of sun and cloud in the north northeast and here throughout southern Manitoba as well. Central Manitoba might have a few extra clouds. Tomorrow, a bit of a different story. Tomorrow, many of us could be seeing showers or thunderstorms from central Manitoba right up into the north. This will run right along the 16 highway. We could get clipped with that briefly, but more so into the afternoon. Another chance of some precipitation. Hot temperatures for tomorrow as well, but only for a day. And then we're back into those low to mid 20s for the rest of the week and the weekend. So if you don't like the heat, you only have to get through tomorrow. And our art today is 9-year-old Connor, who drew this blue jay for us. Why, thank you, Connor. Excellent job done. And we'd love to see more of your art. So draw, color, or paint for us. Take a picture of that and email us to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Terry. Manitoba farmers are once again caught in the crosshairs of a trade dispute. China is tacking a nearly 76% duty on Canadian canola imports. As CTV's Daniel Homerson shows you, it's retaliation after Canada imposed tariffs on Chinese electric vehicle imports last summer.
Curtis McRae has been planting these fields northwest of Selkirk for nearly 40 years. And he says Manitoba summers typically turn canola crops into cash.
It has the right amount of heat, the right amount of not so heat sometimes to make a really nice oil product at the end of the day.
However, this growing season has been riddled with uncertainty.
The drought really hit us hard, and canola really needed a lot more water than it got.
And the hits just keep on coming for McRae and thousands of other canola farmers in Manitoba. On Tuesday, China announced it is imposing a 75.8% duty on Canadian canola imports, the latest blow in a trade dispute between the two countries.
Now that we're on the cusp of harvest is, well, just one more thing to throw on my shoulders or one more thing to forget about until harvest is done.
According to the province, Manitoba farmers plant around 3.3 million acres of canola annually. The crop accounts for nearly a quarter of all farm cash receipts in Manitoba, and canola seed exports generate more than $1 billion for Manitoba's economy in an average year.
That'll be a prohibitive tariff. That will likely stop trade. We cannot absorb that kind of extra costs in selling canola to China.
McRae says if Canada and China can't strike a deal soon, many farmers will need to pivot.
I think the biggest shift you'd see would be a shift to soybeans or even wheat right now, because all three of those products pretty much come into the same dollars per acre.
But for now, his focus is getting these crops harvested.
Another beatdown on the farmer who has very little political influence, but at the end of the day, put our head down, get some work done, and see what happens, because, I mean, the goal of every farmer is to try again next year.
Premier Wamkanu says his government is reaching out to people in the agriculture sector, and he says they will offer support through a farm income stabilization program. The family of 2 children who drowned in Northern Ontario is calling for mandatory swimming lessons for kids.
I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. It should never have happened.
12-year-old Jocelyn Grant and 15-year-old Caden Grant died July 31st. According to family, the two were playing in a park near a river in Dryden, east of Canola. Jocelyn was drawn to some clams near the river and slipped in, and Caden jumped in to save her. Neither knew how to swim very well and drowned. The family is starting a foundation in their memory. Water Wings helps families pay for basic swimming lessons for young children.
Kids really do need to learn how to swim, even if they're in the middle of the city and they don't go to the beach. Even if that's not something, you never know what's going to happen. And water is everywhere. We live in Ontario. Water's everywhere here. So for the safety of your children, you really need to get them into even just very basic survival swimming skills.
The family is also petitioning Ontario Premier Doug Ford to include swimming lessons into the elementary school curriculum. Evacuees from Snow Lake may learn as early as today when they can expect to return home. The town says council members returned to the community Monday and met with the Manitoba Wildfire Service and Emergency Management Office last night to discuss estimated timelines for re-entry. According to its latest update, Snow Lake says high winds have reactivated some sections of the nearby wildfire, but are not threatening any priority areas. A man wanted in connection to a double shooting in western Manitoba 2 weeks ago is in custody. Mounties say 52-year-old Frank LaForge turned himself in Winnipeg Monday. He's charged with first degree and attempted murder. It comes after a shooting on a First Nation southwest of Civic, July 28th. A 33-year-old woman was killed and a 26-year-old man was injured, but has since been released from hospital. New this morning, Air Canada flight attendants have served a 72-hour strike notice to the airline. The union says it gave notice to both Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge early this morning. The move means more than 10,000 flight attendants can walk off the job at 12:58 a.m. Eastern on Saturday if a deal is not reached. In response, the union says Air Canada issued a lockout notice for 1:30 in the morning on Saturday. Air Canada said yesterday it reached an impasse in negotiations after the union declined to enter a binding arbitration process. The two sides have been negotiating a new collective agreement since March. The key issues are wages, work rules, and unpaid hours. For travelers, Air Canada says any canceled flights will be eligible for a full refund. We all know the heat can impact our health, but what about our cars?
Weather is your battery's at risk. It's sitting underneath the hood. The temperature underneath your hood is increasing, so it actually cooks the battery.
CAA reporting a 15% increase in calls for service over this time last year. It says there are a number of reasons behind the spike in calls for service, including this extreme heat. Ontario Provincial Police are also reporting a spike in calls responding to vehicles that have either overheated or have broke down because of the heat, some leading to car fires. Experts say regular maintenance and checks are key. Is it cute or scary? Maybe both. Either way, Labubus are the item of the summer and also one of the hottest targets for thieves. Police in Southern California just tracked down thousands of dollars worth of the trendy toy. Investigators recovered around $30,000 worth of Labubus, which had been snatched from a warehouse. They also found evidence that the suspects were planning to resell them. The collectible plush toys have exploded in popularity this year and are highly sought after by collectors. Team Manitoba has won its first medals at the Canada Summer Games in St. John's, Newfoundland. 20-year-old Soren Weselake of Portage la Prairie won the bronze medal in road cycling. Tegan Purvis won silver in the Special Olympics women's 50-meter breaststroke. And Maxine Levitt earned a silver medal in the para women's 100-meter freestyle event. Congratulations to them. The Canada Summer Games continue until August 25th. Well, here's something you don't see every day. A giant Pacific octopus on Vancouver Island. Videographers John Roney and Chris Mullen went diving in Nanoose Bay when they came across this curious octopus. It was very interested in their camera equipment. The octopus took its own footage and even turned the camera off once it was done. It then appeared to give Mullen a hug, reaching its limbs to feel his face. So cool. Here's a look now at what's going on outside on Kenaston Boulevard. Things appear to be picking up over here, but overall moving well. We have no issues to tell you about in this region. If you do see any problems out there, though, please let us know. Let's go back to Ainsley McPhail. We are live at the Japanese Pavilion this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. Last night, I had the fantastic opportunity of going on that mystery bus with some of the people who watch our show, and it was absolutely fantastic. Went to Portugal, went to South Sudan. The music, the food, sublime. We're at Japan this morning, as you mentioned, and it's one of the original pavilions from 1970. We're going to be talking to a drumming group called Hinode Taiko. They're celebrating 40 years, and what's cool about it is they're going to have some of the alumnus on stage drumming along with them in support of this. The theme this year as well is supporting local. That can be seen through the various market items here. The jacket behind me is a collaboration with Mondetta. The Japanese Cultural Association of Manitoba is on site. The language group too is here. So lots to talk about, lots to eat, lots to do, lots to learn, and it's all supporting local, which is an added bonus.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. And let's go to Terry now. You were also on that bus, Terry.
Yeah, that's right. As she mentioned, Portugal was our first stop, and then South Sudanese. On my Instagram, if you're interested, I've posted a couple of the performances from each of the pavilions, and then a little snippet from the mystery bus, because it was the mystery bus. Yeah, good time there. Dave, our driver, thank you. He got us there safe. Did some impressive maneuvering through some of those tight parking lots as well. Let me tell you, Folklorama is a busy place to be. You got another couple of days to take it all in. All right, back to the weather now. It is gorgeous out here this morning. The sun is shining. It's looking good. Very few clouds out here right now in the downtown area that I'm noticing anyway. 9 degrees with no wind whatsoever. Still, pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 100%. Now, winds will stay on the lighter side. Temperatures will stay on the cooler side. 9 degrees right now is slightly below seasonal that would be about 12 degrees for a low. And then a normal daytime high would be about 25. We're also probably not going to make it that high, topping out just a couple degrees cooler than that, but very pleasant for a lot of you who maybe find those mid to high 20s to be a little bit much. The only place likely to see some precipitation today is parts of the northwest. There will be some heavier clouds. There may be a few extra clouds through central Manitoba, but the rain in the northwest, we may see some of that shower or thunderstorm activity tomorrow, and that will come with some hotter temperatures, but only for a day. Then we're settling back into these mid-20s as we're looking ahead to the weekend.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on our question of the day. It's already week 2 of Folklorama. Which pavilion has been your favorite so far? Please let us know. Our question of the day has moved from Twitter, so now we want you to text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pal. Send them our way, please. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday between 6 to 9 to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. Looks pretty beautiful out there. The sun is shining and the skies are clear. Stay with us for more CTV Morning Live after the break. Good morning. It is 7:16. Winnipeg police credit DNA evidence for an arrest in a number of break-ins this spring. Police say someone broke into 3 apartment buildings in the St. Vital and Windsor Park areas March 24th. More than $3,000 worth of damage was reported, and the thief made off with mail, bicycles, and other property from inside storage lockers. Investigators were able to collect a DNA sample and match it to someone on the convicted offender index. A 33-year-old man was arrested Monday and remains in custody. It's the next step in completing the twinning of the Trans-Canada Highway in eastern Manitoba. The Manitoba government and Four Winds Partnership signed a memorandum of understanding Tuesday. The MOU was signed near Canola and outlines a shared commitment to work together in the planning and design of the proposed twinning of 16 kilometers of Highway 1 between Falcon Lake and the Manitoba-Ontario boundary. The highway is in Treaty 3 territory. Four Winds Partnership represents several Treaty 3 First Nations. It's already been working with the Ontario government on the highway twinning in Ontario, which is now underway. The Manitoba project is years away from completion. The province is now considering the most viable route with the design study that would take several years to complete. Montreal Public Health says one person has died because of a heat wave that started on Sunday. Temperatures in the city have been more than 30 degrees Celsius this week. During intense heat waves, hospitalizations tend to rise, and public health is asking hospital emergency rooms to report heat-related deaths and heat strokes. There have been 5 other heat-related deaths in the city this year. Today is another hot one in the Montreal area because more seasonable temperatures return tomorrow. The City of Winnipeg is looking for some people to fill vacancies on its boards and committees. The annual selection process is underway to find volunteers for a number of positions, including ones on the Winnipeg Public Library Board, Human Rights Committee, Winnipeg Arts Council, and several museums. Canadian citizens and permanent residents 18 and older can apply. Terms range from 1 to 3 years, and meeting frequency is dependent on the board. The deadline to submit an application through the City Clerk's Department is October 17th at 4:30 p.m. Here's a look at what's happening outside now on Portage Avenue. It looks like things are good here. No issues to tell you about at this point. It is a gorgeous start to the Wednesday, though. If you have any problems out on the streets, please let us know. Time now for some entertainment news. This weekend is the annual Burt Block Party. Crews are getting things ready outside the Burton Cummings Theatre. The Burt Block Party is celebrating its 5th year with an impressive lineup of Canadian music legends. The 4-night event runs August 14th to the 17th, and the lineup includes Dean Brody, Marianas Trench, the Gloria Sons, and Kim Mitchell. We'll get ready for a magical evening at the Burton Cummings Theatre in November. Masters of Illusion returns to wow audiences this fall. Some some of the world's greatest award-winning magicians perform modern illusions and arts of deception live on stage. Also, enjoy hysterical comedy magic as performers from around the world combine fantasy, fervor, and flair. For 7 years, Masters of Illusion has toured 166 countries. The show is scheduled for Sunday, November 9th at the Burton Cummings Theatre. Tickets go on sale this Friday. Visit ticketmaster.ca. There have been so many collabs so far in the fix, so how about a camp rock duo that's back on stage together?
Hello? I can hear you.
The Jonas Brothers invited Demi Lovato up on stage to kick off their Greetings from Your Hometown tour in New Jersey. Lovato performed 2 camp rock tracks, which she starred in alongside the brothers. Since their onstage reunion, the pair has been sharing videos like these ones on social media. Your primetime lineup kicks off at 7 with MasterChef, followed by Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service. Then it's Battle of Generations and Match Game wrapping up the night at 10. It's all right here on CTV. All right, bringing in Terry now. It's a gorgeous start to the day. I just want to get outside.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there. Honestly, even I was saying earlier, these temperatures are a little bit cool first thing. If you're properly dressed, and not even so much that, now that the sun is up, sure, it felt cool at 6 a.m. when we kicked off the show and the sun hadn't even risen yet. But now that it has, already standing there out in the warmth of it, not bad. Looking through the Bathfitter Live Eye, Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. You can see the building starting to glow with the sun shining over them. We haven't budged as far as the temperature goes. We're still sitting at 9 degrees, which is slightly below seasonal 12. That would be a normal low. But as I said, now that the sun is out and no clouds or smoke really to obstruct the sun's rays, and it is feeling really pleasant out there already. It's going to be a beautiful day. Many of us sitting just below the seasonal 12 degrees, aside from Melita at 13, or we've got Canola at 12, but most of us are a degree or 2 or 3 cooler than that. Northern Manitoba, we've got some single digits all throughout the northeast. Slightly milder here in the northwest. That's where there's a few extra clouds that provided that little bit of insulation overnight, so you didn't drop as low as where the sky is a little bit clearer in parts of the northeast. Speaking of clear, our map regarding the smoke, no warnings across the entire province. What great news that is to deliver today. Here you can see on the satellite image, not much going on. The few extra clouds through the northwest is where there's going to be a little bit of precipitation. Most of us, though, mix of sun and cloud, or maybe even some mainly sunny conditions, especially in the southwest. Our noontime temperatures just into the double digits. It'll remain a little bit cool throughout the north. Mid-teens is where you'll end up. We'll go from the high teens at lunchtime into the low 20s, but again, slightly below the seasonal 25 degrees. But tomorrow surpassing it, maybe only by a few degrees, but a good chance of some showers or thunderstorms for tomorrow. Then it's back to the sunshine and really pleasant temperatures as we look ahead to the coming weekend. Who's out for a ride this morning? This little frog hitchhiking on this duck. I know it's not a real duck. Thanks to Cindy for the photo. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca.
There is more evidence underscoring the power of music and the positive impact on our health. A new study by Baycrest found that playing an instrument may protect against cognitive aging. CTV's Pauline Chan has the story.
I've been playing piano since kindergarten. I started taking piano lessons at the Royal Conservatory of Music.
The study by Claude Alain and others involved measuring the brain activity of 25 older musicians, 25 older non-musicians, and 24 young non-musicians using MRI.
One has to do as looking at the benefit of musical training and to what extent it improves perceptual and cognitive function in young adults, for example. And in addition to that, we also have some research looking at age-related change in perception and cognition.
Normal aging is typically associated with declines in sensory and cognitive functions, and those age-related changes are usually accompanied by increased neural activity.
The finding was quite surprising. We thought that maybe what will happen with music training is that older adults may have more efficient activity and may even generate more activity that we thought could index some compensatory mechanisms. But what we found was the opposite.
In other words, the brain activity in older musicians did not have to increase to perform certain cognitive tasks. It remained more like that of a young adult.
Music training is helping you keep younger brain.
Richard says he stopped playing music for some years, but came back to it after his father, who was a band leader, passed away.
I try actually to play a lot of the songs that I know in different styles. I'll play like a slow waltz thing in a rock and roll style.
And the research indicates that even years after musical training, the brain retains cognitive benefits. And even when music training starts late in life, it still helps, as do other lifestyle choices, such as learning a new language.
This is, I think, very exciting because you can imagine in terms of education that we should probably have music class the same way we have gym class, for example.
For Richard Parnes, the benefits are first of all enjoyment for himself and his audience, but the brain benefits are certainly welcome. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Incredible. Well, we're going to hear other music as well. Music coming from the Japanese pavilion. Stay with us for more on that. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's been exploring pavilions throughout the week. You are now at the Japanese pavilion. We saw a little bit of a snippet of music and some drumming. Tell us more.
Rochelle, and I asked, how long has this group been around for? By coincidence, Hinode Taiko has been around for 40 years. Wow. So when I asked the question, I'm getting a historical answer. And what's cool about it is that they're going to be bringing some alumnus on stage. Here to tell me all about it is Kevin. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, actually, the group's been together since 1982. We're celebrating the 40 years that our group, Hinode Taiko, has been performing at Folklorama. So 1985 was the first time our group was performing at Folklorama. And yeah, we've brought some the former members, alumni, also to play on the stage with us to celebrate that. So yeah, we're really happy.
Well, just proof that I have terrible math. Performing at Folklorama, even better. So much history. Tell us about the group itself.
Yeah, we drum out of the Japanese Cultural Center, and these are our drums here. We make them ourselves. A lot of them are from old whiskey or wine barrels, and we put the hides on, so we do that. And
what does that do for the sound?
Well, I think, yeah, because it's just, the tone is just as much as you stretch it. Yeah. So each drum unique. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. It really is bringing together a sense of community. You guys are going to be playing something for us today. What's it called? Asue.
And the lyrics are arigato, which is like thank you. So we're thanking everyone for today and onward. And
no, thank you. Okay, guys, let's hear it. So, hey.
That'll wake you up in the morning. Love it.
No kidding. Yeah, and you were just saying off camera, loving to see those smiles. Yes. But when they're enjoying themselves so much, you can't help but feel that joy as well. Talk about spreading the goodness around this morning. So thanks to them for that. And thanks to Mother Nature for bringing some sunshine, because that too is going to put smiles on a lot of people's faces. 9 degrees right now, calm winds with the pressure rising, and the humidity is sitting at 100%. Not only are the winds on the calmer side and the sun shining for us this morning, I have an empty map to show you. Why am I so excited about this? This is the map that's normally looking all purple and yellow and all of those other colors regarding the smoke warnings that have been issued pretty much since the start of like summer, maybe even late spring. It's so nice to show you an empty map today, and the air quality considerably better. We're back to 24 kilometers visibility, and that's the case right up into parts of northern Manitoba today, so good news all around. You can see there's a few extra clouds through parts of the northwest. That's where there might be a little bit of precipitation today. Probably not to see anything like that through southern Central or northeastern Manitoba, mix of sun and cloud expected for us. Everybody around the province, slightly below seasonal temperatures. That's not a bad thing. A lot of people like it, just on the cooler side. And not exactly cool. I mean, 23 degrees. You'll feel the warmth of it all, especially later on today. The sun is already up and throwing some of that heat, and we are going to get a hot one. Well, overnight, we're going to stay above seasonal at 16, and then for tomorrow, 28 degrees. So sure, it will be warm with the chance of showers or some thunderstorms, some stronger winds expected for tomorrow, and then back to those moderate temperatures as we look ahead to the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. The federal government is now pledging an extra $45.7 million for wildfire prevention and risk assessment projects.
People that want to do more about wildfires than Canadians. We are being affected every day in very severe ways. We've seen this in the smoke that clogs our cities. We've seen this in our communities that are evacuated.
The money will go to 30 research projects nationwide with the hopes of also improving fire knowledge and forestry practices. The groups running the projects include nonprofits, private organizations, provincial governments, and Indigenous groups. There are now nearly 730 wildfires raging across Canada, the second worst wildfire season ever recorded. Hundreds of more people have been told to leave their homes for safety as the fire burns near St. John's.
I have 2 kids, so we're taking sentimental stuff belonging to them because we don't know where our house is going to be gone, and we need to make sure they still have some of their childhood with them.
Thousands more people are being told to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. There are 9 active wildfires in the province right now. The latest is in the Spaniards Bay area, which started yesterday. Prime Minister Mark Carney has told Newfoundland and Labrador Premier John Hogan the federal government is ready to provide more help if needed.
It's definitely hitting home. It's a little close to home for me, and I definitely don't want to see it go any further. You know, at the beginning of the year, we were getting rain every single weekend, and everybody was complaining, and now we can't get enough rain. We've had next to no rain this entire month, and it's something we definitely need.
In the Halifax area, the Bayers Lake wildfire forced some businesses and a medical clinic to evacuate Tuesday. 13 fire trucks, helicopters, and water bombers all responded. Provincial officials say progress is being made fighting the fire, but it's still classified as out of control. Drone operators are also being told to stop flying in the area as it puts firefighting aircraft at risk. In New Brunswick, the province's largest fire near Miramichi has tripled in size. The province is asking people to conserve water since the combination of high temperatures and a lack of rain has left water levels low. A wildfire burning near Moncton is also out of control. Nova Scotia has sent firefighters to New Brunswick to help. PEI is the only province without an active wildfire right now. The province has also sent crews to New Brunswick to help.
The Haliburton Fire Management Headquarters are responding to the fire with 5 fire ranger crews and air attack. The fire is not under control.
Farmers are actively moving their animals to safety as a wildfire near Kirkfield, Ontario burns. The fire started Monday and is about 33 hectares now. That's about 6.5 times the size of Toronto's Rogers Centre. It's now bigger than another wildfire between Bobcaygeon and Kinmount. There are no evacuation orders in place, but the city of Kawartha Lakes says it has resources, community centers, and public buildings on standby to house people if that becomes necessary. Scorching heat across southern Europe has led to a number of wildfires, including a massive one in Portugal. This is a look at the rapidly spreading flames in Transcoso, Portugal. The fire is threatening a number of homes in the area and has led to a number of evacuations. Firefighters across Spain, Portugal, Greece, Turkey, and the Balkans have been working around the clock as temperatures in some areas have spiked above 40 degrees Celsius. So far, the fire has killed 1 man on the outskirts of Madrid and another man in Albania. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Berlin this morning ahead of a virtual summit with European leaders and U.S. President Donald Trump. This is happening ahead of Trump's meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday in Alaska. The leaders are expected to reiterate that no decisions should be made without Ukraine, including changing its borders by force. Trump has said any peace deal would involve swapping of territories, and it's believed Putin wants Kyiv to surrender parts of the eastern Donbass it still controls. He walks, he talks, he runs, he plays. Meet Walt Dog, an AI-powered robot making its way through Monterrey, Mexico. But he's not just strolling. He's raising awareness about animal rights and animal welfare. He'll also flag trash and potholes, plus register fellow street dogs. The owner wants Wall Dog to encourage kindness and responsibility toward animals and humans. Here's a look at what's happening along St. Mary's Road. Things are really picking up over here, as you can see, but overall moving slowly but well. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.36. The provincial and Winnipeg averages are lower at $1.33. The lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.27. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car. CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
It looks good outside this morning. Take a look at that. The sun is shining, the winds are calm, the smoke has lifted. That's some good news. 9 degrees right now with the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 100%. Just a couple of clouds, but here's the best news of all, an empty map indicating the lack of smoke right across the entire province. Those smoke warnings have lifted. Some of the best news that we've had all summer long. Now, northern Manitoba could be seeing a little bit of precipitation. You can see right now the extra clouds up in around the northwest. That's where there might be a little bit of rain today. Northeastern Manitoba and most of the rest of us will be seeing that sunshine today. Temperatures, no matter where you are, though, they're going to be a little bit cool, a little bit shy of what is normal for this time of year. For example, high teens, low 20s would be normal through this part of the province, and instead mid-teens or just barely getting up into the double digits. I mentioned the chance of precipitation. That'll go forward the northwest today. Chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and again, slightly cooler temperatures. Here in southern Manitoba, 25 degrees is actually normal for this time of year. So this might be the one part of the province that isn't missing the mark of what is normal for this time of year. A little bit warmer, especially around the Nipawa, Brandon area. Plenty of sunshine expected. We too will enjoy that sunshine here through the southeast, but you can see our temperatures are more so into those low to mid 20s as opposed to mid 20s, 25 being that normal daytime high, and then maybe even a degree or two cooler yet as we look further to the east of us, with the possibility still of some scattered precipitation through parts of northwestern Ontario. A little bit of precipitation for tomorrow. Showers, maybe some thunderstorms, and a few more degrees expected. It'll be a little bit hotter tomorrow, and then we settle back to those pleasant temperatures, low to mid 20s throughout the coming weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley, who is live at the Japanese Pavilion. We're learning all about the culture as well as some traditions. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. And it's so awesome seeing people connect to their roots and bring in new people into the culture to explore. So Hanako is joining us now. We're going to do a rapping demonstration. What was a rapping and what is rapping traditionally used for?
Yeah, so this is furoshiki, traditional Japanese rapping. The demonstration I'll be doing is for bento, like just a lunch, but traditionally used for like the act of gift giving, going back to thousands of years, but still used contemporarily today. So I'll be doing a bento, but you can also do it for like decorative purposes of like wine bottles, tissue cloth holders. We have like a book bag here, and then a basket that you can just put things in. It just makes it look a little bit nicer.
And they all have different textures to them. Let's start with the bento.
Yeah, so this bento is like more of a handkerchief fabric, very soft, a nice cotton. And so the way to tie it, you have side A, B, C, and D. So we're going to pull A to the back, tuck it in. C to the front, tuck it in, and then we're going to pull B and D together and tie it on top. We have a little bow, well, not a bow, but a knot, and then you have a little bento to take. Aww. And if you have chopsticks, you can just slide this in like this, and so kids will take this to school. I actually pack all my lunches like this as well.
It's beautiful, actually.
No, it's so nice. And even if it's not for bento and for gift giving, you can wrap it like this and give it to another person. The only thing you have to do is ask for your fabric back, which might be the only awkward part.
Fair enough. It might be premature to say this, to talk about Christmas. However, this is a sustainable way not to use wrapping paper.
Yeah, absolutely. I wrap all my gifts with furoshiki. Again, like, you don't need to throw your wrapping paper away, and it's equally as beautiful as any wrapping paper you'd get in the store, and you can wrap it with anything. Like, you can wrap squares, rectangles, you can even wrap like balls, like spheres or ovals. So there's so many different ways of wrapping.
Thank you so much. And because Christmas is so far from where we are in August, you'll have time. So you'll have time to learn here at the Japanese Pavilion, and then you can give Mom a nice gift. How about that?
Sounds perfect. Thank you, Ainsley. Two lifelong friends are on their own walk of life, and it's ended up taking them on the adventure of a lifetime. As ABC's Danny New explains, they're doing it for a worthy cause.
In week 22 of Walking Across America.
A 3,600-mile stroll.
We were about halfway up to the summit.
For two childhood best friends.
Our parents definitely thought it was a bit wild at first, which is super fair.
Drew and Philip of San Mateo, California are trying to become the youngest duo ever to walk across the country at 20 years old apiece. I spoke with them while they were on the side of a road in Eureka, Nevada on day 164.
We made it here to the Atlantic Ocean.
In March, during a gap year from college, they flew to Delaware and began the trek back home, unofficially launching their new mission called the Livin' Project.
You just gotta keep living, man. L-I-V-I-N.
The name was inspired by Matthew McConaughey's iconic line from Dazed and Confused.
We kind of live by that motto. We just live, we're spontaneous, we're adventurous.
But the boys have also been braving these intense conditions to try and give back.
We just walked 30 miles in 100-degree weather.
Specifically, they want to raise $50,000 for a nonprofit called Convoy of Hope, which helped out folks like their friends and family during the wildfires in Southern California earlier this year.
That meant a lot to us.
So far, while their videos have reached millions online, Philip and Drew have raised more than $43,000 for Convoy of Hope.
Yeah.
Also along the way, locals have taught them how to fish. Oh. And at one point, one even showed them how to pick up a snake.
That must have upset your parents the most.
Yeah, my mom did not like seeing those.
As you can probably tell, there are no bathrooms out here.
Now, with less than 600 miles to go, Drew and Philip say they expect to reach the Pacific Ocean in about mid-September. Overall, they're quite tired, but also
so many experiences that we just would never have come across if we didn't do this.
It's time for Let's Celebrate. Let's Do is having a celebration today. Happy 10th birthday, Chloe. Love from your whole family. Happy 33rd birthday, Chris, and have an awesome day with love from your family and friends. Happy 11th birthday, Carter. Mom and Dad send their love and wish you a great day. Happy 12th birthday, Sophia. Love Mom and Dad. Happy 8th birthday, Chase, with love from Grandma Banks. And a happy 78th birthday, Lorna, with love from all the people who call you Mom, Auntie, Cooks, Kookum, and Great Kookum. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's Celebrate, brought to you by Party Stuff, 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Okay, out here this morning, soaking up the sunshine. It's looking good. It's feeling good. It's without the heavy smoke. Everything about today will be pleasant across the entire province. 9 degrees right now, so while we have these slightly below seasonal temperatures, and it might be a little bit cool, although now that the sun is up, it feels good. Calm winds, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 100%. What a perfect day to maybe crack the window a little bit. Let some of this fresh air in, and it is fresh. The smoke warnings have been lifted across the entire province. We're back to 24 kilometers of visibility, and things are going to be feeling pretty good today. A mix of sun and cloud is expected all throughout southern Manitoba and up into the northeast. Northwestern Manitoba, that's the one part of the province who may see a bit of precipitation today. Showers, possible thunderstorms. And then the rest of us could be catching up tomorrow with a chance of precipitation. Also some slightly hotter temperatures tomorrow with showers, maybe thunderstorms. Stronger winds also expected for tomorrow, but all of that only for a day. On the other side of that, as we're looking to wrap up the weekend and head on into the weekend, we're back to these pleasant low to mid 20 temperatures. Sunshine expected throughout.
Hi there, Matt Scooby with you inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. For that, we'll head to Toronto for this one. Cubs and Blue Jays top 4 Nico Horner with the grounder, but check out Bo Bichette. The long throw from deep in the hole. He gets him for the out at first. Great defensive effort from the shortstop. And how about some props for Vladdy Guerrero Jr. too? What a stretch to make that grab. The Jays would go on to win it 5-1. Bichette earns your must-see moment from Tuesday. And today on TSN, we've got a full day of action from the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. Canada taking on Czechia. It all starts at 1 p.m. Central on TSN 4. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
TSN Must See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years.
Coming up at 8:06, we will continue our journey throughout the Japanese pavilion. Stay with us for more on what you're seeing right now. Good morning. When wildfires forced people from their homes in northern Manitoba, many elders and members of isolated communities not only lost access to their homes, but also to their traditional foods and meals. Dishes containing traditional meats like moose and bannock are not easy to find in Winnipeg, but special meals have been prepared in a kitchen and delivered to some evacuees living in hotels and shelters for the past 2 months. Joining us now from the Manitoba Kiiwetinoong Ogimakinak Harvester Program is Grace Mass. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now tell us about some of the traditional meals that elders from northern communities rely on.
It's wild game like moose, fish. So moose, fish, caribou, some elk, and and the berries.
But some of these types of meats, berries, and bannock, they're hard to find in Winnipeg, aren't they?
Yes, they are. So, yeah, they are hard to find. You can't go to any place and eat that in Winnipeg.
But it's something that they need and that they value. So tell us how MKO partnered up with Food Matters Manitoba to provide those meals to elders living in shelters and hotels. Tell us about that program.
Well, when we first started cooking, I did a call out to my brother who works for Food Matters Manitoba, Myron Cook, and we started cooking at Leela's site. This was about 2.5 months ago, and we were cooking outdoors. And then we took a small break, and then MKO started cooking about 6 weeks ago for the elders. And we are cooking from Harvest Manitoba, and Food Matters is assisting with 2 cooks from Norrie House.
And so what kind of meals are we talking about? What was prepared there?
We have cooked many meals. We've cooked moose stew. We've fried moose meat. We make like our cakes we like to eat. We've just had our stews. A lot of our elders don't like the spicy foods and are not used to a lot of the catered meals, like such as burritos and all different kinds of stuff that is not in their diet. So we've been cooking the stews they like, the moose stews, and fried meat and potatoes, and the berries, and fish frying. They like the fish, and bannock.
So when you were delivering these meals, what kind of response were you getting?
Well, I can ask. Like, we've been getting all kinds of responses. I have some of my coworkers here with me. They were very happy. They were very grateful because they've lost a lot of weight from eating from the catered meals because it's not in their diet what they've been provided. So we've seen some very happy tears.
Yeah, I bet it brings their sense of home to them right here in Winnipeg. How many meals altogether would you say you have delivered?
Oh, wow. Some days we have served up to 240 people. So divide that by, I guess that would be thousands of meals.
And how much longer do you think this is going to go on for?
Well, I'm not sure about the evacuees and stuff. So I think they'll be here for a little while. Mm-hmm. So, but the cooking will be changing that. We'll be taking a break from that and doing something else where we can bring them outside where we'll be cooking.
Okay.
So we're looking at kind of changing and doing something else different.
Well, thank you so much for all the amazing work that you do, making the elders feel at home and bringing some good, tasty foods to them. We appreciate your time today. Thanks, Grace.
Yeah, I just want to say something to the elders. Kinanaskumitnan, katuwinamoyak, kita samatak. So thank you for letting us feed you, and just thank you to all our partners and our cooks and our drivers and our hunters.
Well, thank you, Grace. We appreciate it. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for being with us. We have a lot in the next hour for you, but first your headlines. Canola crisis. China imposes steep tariffs on Canadian farmers weeks from harvest. Canada responds, calling the move unfair. A new chapter for the Bay, renamed Rupert Legacy after Canadian Tire buys the brand, trademarks, and all its historic assets. From coconuts to oranges, UK artist Millie is turning fruit into art, and TikTok can't get enough. Very cool. All right, bringing it to Terry now. It's a different kind of day. It's clear outside.
Finally. Oh,
Yes.
my goodness. And not just here in the South, Rochelle, I am so happy to report that across the province, we've seen huge improvements regarding the smoke. Outside right now, it's 9 degrees. The wind is non-existent. The pressure is rising. The humidity, that's sitting at 100%. But the sky so much clearer. And like I said, it's not just here in the South, Central, Northern Manitoba. No warnings regarding that smoke. Everybody breathing a little bit easier now. At least for now. We'll take it. Northwestern Manitoba, there's a few extra clouds. With those clouds, perhaps some precipitation. For nearly everybody else, maybe a cloud here or there, but also some sunshine. And as I mentioned, the temperature is really pleasant as well. So here's a look at what's going to be moving through northwestern Manitoba. Showers, possible thunderstorms, primarily just for the northwest, northeast, southern Manitoba. The temperatures are looking good, but the conditions really pleasant with a mix of sun and cloud. Now, tomorrow things will change. Here's a look first thing in the morning. Northern Manitoba seeing some storms right down into central Manitoba, kissing right along the 16 highway. We could get clipped with that in the morning, but an even better chance into the afternoon of seeing some showers or thunderstorms develop. Meanwhile, northern Manitoba, you've pretty much got it to hang around throughout the day tomorrow. We're looking to see a return to the sunshine on the other side of tomorrow, and tomorrow will also come with just a little uptick in the temperatures. 25 degrees normal for this time of year. We'll be just shy of it today, surpass it tomorrow, and settle back into those low to mid 20 temps for the weekend. This is our Blue Jay that was drawn by Connor, 9 years old. Thank you for sharing your talents with us, Connor. We appreciate that, and we'd love to see all of your talents, draw, color, or paint. Take a picture of that and email us winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Farmers are reeling and responding this morning to massive tariffs imposed by China on Canadian canola.
Only are we facing a yield loss, but at the same time, obviously now we're facing an income loss for whatever we do grow. So it's, right now this could be a double whammy.
There are 40,000 canola farmers in Canada who have just been slapped with China's 75.8% duty on the oil seed. It's horrible news for an industry that's been dealing with drought just weeks away from harvest. The tariffs come after the federal government's decision last year to impose a 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles and 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum. China says after conducting an anti-dumping investigation, it found that Canada was providing its farmers with unfair subsidies. Canada's Ministers of Agriculture and Agri-Food and International Trade have since issued a statement saying, quote, Canada is deeply disappointed with China's decision to implement provisional anti-dumping duties in its self-initiated investigation, adding, we do not dump canola. A man wanted in connection to a double shooting in western Manitoba 2 weeks ago is in custody. Mounties say 52-year-old Frank LaForge turned himself into Winnipeg Monday. He's charged with first-degree murder and attempted murder. It comes after a shooting on a First Nation southwest of Civic, July 28th. A 33-year-old woman was killed and a 26-year-old man was injured, but has since been released from hospital. The business running what's left of the Bay department stores has changed its name. It's now going by Rupert's Legacy. It's a reference to the Bay's first governor, Prince Rupert, as well as Rupert's Land given to the company in the 1700s when it started as a fur trading company. The name change is part of a sale of intellectual property to Canadian Tire. The $30 million deal saw the transfer of all trademarks, names, and branding to Canadian Tire. Canada has now joined an international call for unrestricted aid to be allowed into Gaza. 24 countries signed the document that says the humanitarian suffering in Gaza has reached unimaginable levels and that urgent action is needed to halt and reverse starvation. Gaza's health ministry says in the last 24 hours, 89 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli fire, and 5 more people, including 2 children, have died of starvation and malnutrition. The territory's Hamas-run civil defense agency says Gaza City has come under intense air attack as Israeli forces prepare to launch an operation to take over the city. It takes a lot of talent to paint, especially when it involves fruit. This is UK-based artist Millie. She's been sharing these kinds of videos on social media for a while now. The latest one you just saw is her painting over a coconut to match her face. It's not the only food she's painted over either. Check out how she's transformed this orange. Millie has racked up millions of views on TikTok. Very cool. All right, taking a look outside now. Look at this. It's a gorgeous start to the day. Things are moving well here on the St. James Bridge. No issues to tell you about in traffic.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Let's go back now to Ainsley. We're talking about the Japanese pavilion this morning. You're going to show us some beautiful writing. Good morning.
Japanese calligraphy is so beautiful, and if you come to the pavilion, you can actually have your own with a special word for yourself. So Yayoi is joining us. She actually teaches this. And how many years have you been doing this for?
Oh dear. How many years? Well, more than, forever.
That's a good answer. So when people come, how does it all work?
All right. These are the fans here, and they can choose one of them. And also, I can put their name in Japanese, and also they can choose a symbol right here on the right here. And
Yeah, you and I have already talked that you're going to help me write my name. So I know it's not on there, but I think I get a special treatment for coming so early. So may I please have the yellow one?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll do the yellow one. So how does one perfect these skills?
Oh, I can say just practice and practice.
That's a very fair answer. That's like anything in life, right? So we're going to dip it in the ink. Which one are you going to use?
All right. First of all, you can choose from that here. Love, dream, whatever it is. Would you like to choose one of the?
Okay, I will choose friend.
Friend. All right. Right here. Friend. Oops. All right. So I will write friend right here in the center, and then with a small brush, I will write your name in Japanese. Right.
This is some pretty cool ink, too. And she was telling me, too, earlier that it helps alleviate a lot of stress and anxiety, and people find it a very good distraction for those things. Even she had one student who had a toothache and said, "Oh, I actually forgot about this."
Very meditational, yes. And Ainsley, your name is, right? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we're simply out of time, so we're going to have to wrap up this segment. Hey, I don't smell. No.
So cool. She's focused. All right. Thank you, Ainsley. Well, stopping a wildfire before it even begins, that's the goal of a community initiative in southern Manitoba. And now new funding will help make it happen. CTV's Danton Unger explains.
Fighting fire with fire. That's what this group of residents in the RM of Stewartburn is doing to protect their community from wildfires.
We've had fires through here 70, 80, 90 kilometer-hour winds, and it's scary. That is very scary.
Laura Reeves is the vice president of the Stewartburn Prescribed Burn Association. The volunteer group aims to stop wildfires before they can even begin by conducting prescribed burns to remove dried or dead vegetation and brush.
The idea is that we will be reducing the fuel load, if not eliminating it. So there will be nothing for a wildfire to catch.
Now the group is getting a big boost to get that work done.
This is the way of the future.
On Tuesday, Intact Insurance handed the association more than $116,000 through its Municipal Climate Resiliency Grant. Reeves says this money will fully equip the prescribed burn team with gear and training to conduct at least 5 prescribed burns across 100 acres.
This is a godsend to us.
Area Reeve Michelle Goronski says Stewartburn is the only municipality in Manitoba to receive the grant, which was awarded to just 19 communities across Canada.
We look around at other provinces across the country and the wildfires that are destroying so much of our lands. The RM of Stewartburn has lived through that.
In May, Stewartburn's neighboring municipality of Piney was forced to evacuate hundreds of residents due to an out-of-control blaze. It was just the beginning of what has become the worst wildfire season in the last 30 years for Manitoba. Goronski believes initiatives like this could make all the difference in municipalities' wildfire fights.
I absolutely believe that this is the future, the way municipalities are going to have to move forward in, having the fire protection that we are going to need.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
There's a look through the Bathfitter Live Eye now. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Looking good the way the city is starting to glow in those sun's rays. And we're going to be seeing that sunshine pretty much throughout the day today and seeing way less smoke, which is probably the best news of all. 13 degrees right now in Winnipeg, Portage, Morden Winkler joining us there. Dauphin as well. Roblin has bumped up to 13. And even better than that, you got Melita now at 14 degrees. We do have some 11s showing up still, just slightly shy of the seasonal 12, but for the most part, we're all starting to make those gains now this morning. Northern Manitoba starting to see some gains made as well. You were a couple degrees cooler first thing, still in the single digits, but you will start to warm up a little more so with sun shining over the northwest, the northeast. The northwest is where there's a few extra clouds and perhaps some precipitation. Nothing to talk about regarding the smoke. All of the warnings have been lifted, which in itself, I suppose, is something to talk about because it's been so long since we've had no warnings in place regarding the smoke. The few clouds across the northwest will be bringing the bit of rain today. For everybody else, it will be a fairly sunny one, but not a hot one. You can see our temperatures midday into the low 20s, even cooler yet, mid to high teens expected across northern Manitoba. Here in the south, 25 degrees is seasonal. We're not going to quite get there, topping out at 23, but a little warmer tomorrow with the chance of some storms, showers, possible thunderstorms, and then settling back into those low to mid 20s as we look ahead to the weekend. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. Ottawa is gearing up to fast-track so-called nation-building projects, which could include liquefied natural gas. The Prime Minister has pledged to turn Canada into an energy superpower, but it's unclear whether that will mean tearing up more climate policies. CTV's Rachel Ayalo on the plan and the impact it could have on the environment.
I know there are buyers.
Canada's energy minister making it clear that he thinks there's a case for Canadian liquefied natural gas projects to be among those fast-tracked under the new Building Canada Act.
What I can tell you from the conversations that the Prime Minister has been having, the Minister of Foreign Affairs has been having, the Minister of International Trade has been having, the conversations I've been having, our allies are very interested in Canadian LNG.
The minister said the federal government is ready to decide which projects to designate as in the national interest as soon as proponents for those energy or other projects, such as private and Indigenous stakeholders, start presenting their proposals.
I would expect you would see a rolling set of announcements over the fall as different projects mature and meet the criteria.
There are multiple LNG projects in the works that could see Canada ship millions more tons of natural gas per year. And the sector says the global demand for cleaner energy is growing.
More customers, more shipments, more LNG export facilities means more jobs for Canadians.
Though this environmental economist says a single LNG project can produce emissions equivalent to 1 million cars.
When you're putting in these big, large, lumpy emission projects, you need some pretty strong policy to counter the emissions.
Hodgson said the government remains committed to its climate objectives, but he wouldn't rule out easing federal emissions targets to move these projects forward.
We're focused on results, not how we get there.
Pressed repeatedly on whether the new Liberal government is willing to rescind the old Liberal government's contentious environmental policies, the minister said the powers that Cabinet now has through Bill C-5 will allow them to deal with any issues that may arise on a case-by-case basis.
There's lots of music happening this weekend. The Bird Block Party will feature Canadian country, rock, and indie music this weekend. But if you're into R&B, an upcoming festival is designed just for you. The Soul Supreme Fest will showcase musicians from Winnipeg's R&B scene. Joining us now to tell us more about Soul Supreme Fest is the founder, Keisha Booker. Good morning, Keisha.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this festival is 3 years old, but your organization has been putting on shows for many years, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
So yeah, Soul Supreme started in 2014, and it started off as a weekly, lounge event, and it's just naturally, organically blossomed into a larger concert now. So this is our 3rd year. And yeah, we're at La Patio 340 at CCFM.
Tell us about the R&B scene here in Winnipeg. What's it like? Is it something that's emerging? Has it always been there? What are you seeing?
Well, we started out in 2014 because there was nowhere for R&B performers specifically to perform. Me as an R&B singer, there was nowhere really to perform, so we created it basically to give other artists as well as DJs a platform, a regular platform. So I would say lately that the R&B scene is definitely growing. It's definitely becoming more established and more of a staple, particularly live R&B.
That's really fun. And how did you get involved with R&B?
I grew up singing. My parents were musicians, so I've been in music my whole life.
And so how is it different from some of the other genres out there?
I would say, how is it different? I mean, all of the genres have a specific energy, have a specific, R&B is very much about love, so I would say that's one of the distinguishing factors.
I love that. Okay, so this fest that is happening this weekend, tell us a little bit about who will be there and some of the, events that people can expect to see.
Yeah, so some of the artists have been performing on the Soul Supreme platform for many years. Tommy Phil is one of the artists that will be there. Snacky, we have Jade, we have a 9-piece horn band called Neo. Yeah.
So are you seeing more artists come forward since they do have this avenue that they can perform in?
Yeah, I would say for sure. Now that there is an established place for musicians and singers to come and engage in R&B, there's definitely more people that are coming out and requesting to be on the platform.
So if someone's watching and this is something they've always wanted to explore, what would you tell them?
I would say, reach out to us for sure if you're interested. You can always contact us if you're interested in performing.
Okay, so let's talk about what's happening at the festival. Who is welcome to check this out and what will be happening there?
Everyone. So we have live music, we have DJs, and we have mixed media art. So we'll have visual artists, live vendors, and great food. We have some Caribbean food as well. Yes.
Oh my gosh, just that alone is worth going.
Some jerk chicken for sure.
So, and do you get tickets ahead of time? You just show up at the door? Okay.
Yes, you can get tickets on soulsupreme.co.
Okay. And of course, this is happening again on Saturday at Le Patio 340, which is at CCFM on Provencher. Thank you, Keisha.
Thank you.
It is so beautiful out here this morning. Of course, just keeping an eye on my plants, wondering if and when I'm going to need to water them again. They did get plenty of rain over the weekend, but now it's been a couple of days, and today will likely be a drier one as well. 13 degrees, our temperatures, they've started to bump up now. We were as cool as 9 degrees, which was below seasonal, but we're warming up. The sun is up, it's looking good, and the sky is clear both of clouds and smoke. What a way to kick things off. And the winds are very light right now. With the pressure rising, the humidity is sitting at 99%. So soaking up that sunshine and actually having some beautiful clear air to get outside and enjoy what a gorgeous day Mother Nature is blessing us with. Northwestern Manitoba is where there may be a few extra clouds, a bit of precipitation, the possibility of showers, maybe some thunderstorms, and some slightly cool and below seasonal temperatures expected across northern Manitoba as well. You're probably going to be topping out in those mid-teens. And here in the south, when 25 degrees is normal for this time of year, here in the southeast, 23 degrees is going to be our average high temperature. It might be a couple degrees warmer in the southwest and a couple degrees cooler off to the east of us with the possibility of showers or maybe thunderstorms throughout parts of northwestern Ontario. We could see that precipitation tomorrow with a little spike in the temps. And this little guy out taking a fun Sunday on this little rubber ducky. Thanks to Cindy for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live Weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
Taylor Swift is releasing new music. The singer confirmed a new album is coming after leaving a trail of clues for fans to follow. CTV's Andrea Case has the details.
Speculation about an announcement from Taylor Swift was running rampant on Monday after this teaser promoting a special guest on her NFL star boyfriend Travis Kelce and his brother Jason's popular podcast, New Heights. Sleuths quickly figured out this cutout matched this photo. Then, 12 minutes later, Taylor Nation, an official branch of her marketing team, posted photos of Swift wearing orange and the caption, thinking about when she said, "See you next era." Then this.
Such a nice color on you.
Yes. She broke the news herself this morning, August 12th at 12:12. She would be releasing her 12th album.
So I wanted to show you something.
Okay. What do we got?
We got
a briefcase.
Yep.
Mint green with TS on it.
Yep.
What's in it?
This is my brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl.
I think it's awesome. I love Taylor Swift.
Why is it awesome?
Because all her music's great.
I think that's great. I mean, I've been listening to Taylor since as a kid too, since 2012. So new album, that's crazy. It's great.
While the 35-year-old 14-time Grammy winner has often referred to her ex-boyfriends in her lyrics, she's never made an album announcement this way and rarely does interviews or appears on podcasts. No official date has been given as to when it will be released, but fans can pre-order The Life of a Showgirl on Swift's website now, and vinyl editions will be shipped before October 13th. Andrea Case, CTV News.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
When it comes to food, culture, and community, Manitoba is filled with a wide variety of homegrown tastes, sounds, and experiences. You can experience all of that in one central location this weekend, and it's free. The Street Feast Festival is happening at the Forks from Friday to Sunday, and joining us now is the organizer of Street Feast Festival, Lou Alarcon. Good morning, Lou.
Good morning.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, this is an event that's been happening for a few years, but it's getting bigger every year.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what inspired you to create this.
Well, Lynn Alarcon and I, we both love food, and we're a local business ourselves, so we love supporting local in every way that we can. And basically, that's where it came from.
Street Feast Festival. There's over 100 vendors.
That's right.
And it's foods of all kinds of different flavors, right?
Food from all over the world found in Winnipeg. So from Thai food, from Filipino food, Argentinian, everything pretty much. You name it, we have it. And they all come from various parts of Manitoba. Tomahawk, for example, is from Pine Falls. Big Smoke is going to be there as well. Yeah, Island Pacific Kitchen. So yeah, we're very excited.
So how is it set up? Describe, paint the scene for me.
Yes, of course. So it's super vibrant, super colorful. It's a festival, and it's very Manitoba. So Manitoba flavors, Manitoba sound, and there's going to be a lot of food trucks. There's about 18 food trucks, and as well as food carts.
Okay.
And there's going to be food vendors as well who will be cooking on site. Back to back quality entertainment, from free Zumba to local performances with local bands like Papa Mambo, Fiji, and Sleepy Zay. break dancing, performances by Red Lotus Korean dance group. There's really a lot of things for everybody.
This is a true representation of what Manitoba is about, isn't it?
That's right. And all in one place, in a prime location like the Forks CN Station Field, you can't get better than that.
It's always been a gathering place. So food, music, dance, that's what brings us together,
exactly,
right?
And community. Yes, absolutely. Winnipeg has given us a lot of great opportunities, and as a small business, it's important for us to be able to give back and to be able to support local, right? So yeah, this is why we're doing this.
So how does it work? People show up, it's free to go there.
Free to go there, free admission, and they have access to the free entertainment, free activations, and they basically have to buy the food, of course, and support the local vendors, because we do have a pop-up market as well.
And you can try more than one, right?
Absolutely, yes, and we have eating challenges with a twist, so yeah, there's definitely something for everybody.
Well, let's talk about those competitions. What is that going to look like?
Yeah, so one is called Blazing Bites, and that one is with Intergalactic and Soul Food Truck, Intergalactic Sauces and Soul Food Truck, and the other one is called Around the World Eating Challenge. So all the participants will get to basically gather the food from all the participating vendors. Yeah. And there's a little riddle, and they have to, it's an eating challenge, so they have to eat it. The other one is on Sunday, there's also going to be an Island Pacific Kitchen food platter eating challenge. So yeah, there's little twists to it.
Last year you had 15,000 people check this out.
Approximately, yes.
And you're expecting even more this year.
I hope so. Hopefully it's going to be great weather, and I believe that we offer a lot of great things that, you know, a lot of the best things in Manitoba, really. So we're excited.
Okay, and anything else you want people to know about this event and why it's so fabulous?
Free.
Yeah, that's it. We like free in Winnipeg.
We love free, yes. And of course, quality performances back to back to back. And it's a great way to support local and really keep the cycle of support going.
I love that. Okay, well, thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
And of course, if you want more information, we do have a link on our website. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. And you're right, we do love free. All right, you know what else is free? Some gorgeous weather today. 13 degrees, light winds, no winds right now, in fact. The pressure rising and the humidity is starting to drop now at 99%. Clear of the smoke. That's probably the best news that I have to share with you today. Our warnings map, empty. I know it's not the first time since spring, but it feels like it because it seems like it's been weeks or even months now that we've been plagued with that heavy smoke and right up into northern Manitoba. We've got visibility back again, cleaner air and cooler temperatures, enough so that you could even crack a window this morning and let some of that fresh air into your own space. There you can see not much in the way of clouds on the satellite image, but there are a few more clouds up in parts of the northwest, and with those clouds, the possibility of some precipitation today. Here in the south, I'm talking a mix of sun and cloud, and into the northeast as well, mix of sun and cloud. 23 degrees, so not a hot day, but a pleasant one, and that will come with those southeast winds staying on the lighter side. And then overnight, still with the lighter winds, just a few clouds as we drop down to 16. So while today will be below seasonal just by a couple degrees, our overnight temps keep us above seasonal. So 12 is actually a low that's normal for this time of year. We're only dropping to 16 and then soaring up to 28. So feeling the heat for tomorrow, feeling the winds of tomorrow as well, and the possibility of showers or maybe even thunderstorms for Thursday. But then it's back to the really pleasant temperatures with the sunshine back again and these low to mid 20 temperatures right through the weekend and continuing on into the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. A new study out of Ontario suggests mandated nurse-to-patient ratios could cut healthcare costs and save lives. Researchers looked at jurisdictions such as California, British Columbia, and Australia, where mandated staffing standards are in place, and compared them to hospitals in Ontario. They say the evidence shows death rates go up by 7% for every additional patient assigned to a nurse. And hospitals in Pennsylvania noticed there were thousands of fewer infections after introducing mandatory nursing ratios, saving tens of millions of dollars a year. Manitoba doesn't currently have mandated ratios, but a subcommittee made up of government, nurses union, and health authority representatives began exploring the idea earlier this year.
Just as the report stated, the evidence is clear that mortality rates for patients drop when we have nurse-patient ratios. We know that readmissions are are less likely. And we also know that when it comes to nursing and quality of life, there's much less burnout, and we know that retention and recruitment absolutely is so much better.
MNU President Darlene Jackson says the subcommittee has a January 1st deadline to release its recommendations, and she's hopeful the province will accept them. The City of Winnipeg is looking for some people to fill vacancies on its boards and committees. The annual selection process is underway to find volunteers for a number of positions, including ones on the Winnipeg Public Library Board, Human Rights Committee, Winnipeg Arts Council, and several museums. Canadian citizens and permanent residents 18 and older can apply. Terms range from 1 to 3 years, and meeting frequency is dependent on the board. The deadline to submit an application through the City Clerk's Department is October 17th at 4:30 p.m. Some wild scenes on the Mediterranean Sea as a luxury yacht burned Monday. The Da Vinci caught fire and sunk about 12 kilometers off the coast of Formentera, Spain, Monday evening. The 7 people on board are okay, but the yacht is not. It is now sitting at the bottom of the Mediterranean. The fire reportedly started in the boat's engine room. Some National Guard troops have arrived in Washington, D.C. U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered 800 guards to be deployed to the Capitol. Armored cars and troops could be seen outside of the city's main rail hub last night. 23 people were arrested by federal agents Monday night. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is insisting the police chief remains in charge of its department and officers. Bowser has rejected Trump's claim that violent crime is out of control in the city. She described the troop deployment as a, quote, authoritarian push. Not 1, not 2, but 3. A local cheesemaker near Steinbach brought 3 medals home after winning gold in a North American cheese competition. CTV's Harrison Shin was down at the creamery.
First place, then they called our name, so it was like, oh my goodness.
Meet Fabiola Della Pria, a local cheesemaker who made Manitoba proud.
So we won first Best Fresh Cheese into the Spanish-Portuguese category of North America. So all the way from Mexico to here, we are the best fresh cheese.
And no one can stop her.
We also won on 3rd place for best grilling cheese of North America for the Spanish category, and then best season spread as well. Third place best season spread.
She cannot hide her excitement.
This category here over, I think, close to 30 different cheeses of the very same special kind. So we won over everybody. So it's very nice to have a title like that.
The award ceremony was surreal for her.
I was like still shaking from the first place, and I was hearing my name from the other, because the categories were like very close together. So I was hearing like that we won again, and then we won again. So we won 3 out of the 4 submissions we sent.
But a local wholesaler and grocer is not surprised.
It's very versatile, so a lot of restaurants are using them on their dishes, on their plates, really promoting local. So I was super excited when she won the gold medal in North America, which is amazing.
Now, Della Pria is looking to expand.
We're actually in talks to send this to Vancouver and Quebec right now. So soon, Quebecois and Vancouver will be able to try our cheeses as well.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Steinbach.
And let's take a look now what's going on Osborne Street. Things are good here. No issues to tell you about. It looks like a smooth drive. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.36. The provincial and Winnipeg averages are lower at $1.33. The lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.27. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
We've been exploring the Japanese pavilion throughout the morning. We've seen so much, heard so much, and we're going to hear more. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. I am surrounded by a bundle of history and a bundle of energy. Hinode Taiko has spent 40 years performing at Folklorama. Kevin joins us once again, and I'm going to get a bit of a lesson. Off camera, I had one so far, but let's see if I retained the information. Kevin, there's a so we mentioned 40 years performing at Folklorama. You guys are all wearing different uniforms, so tell us about why that is.
Yeah, we're celebrating 40 years playing for Folklorama, and we've brought back some alumni, former performers, to join this week, and also to honor the past. We're all wearing different past huppy, or the costumes that the group made. It's not like you just go downtown Winnipeg and buy these. So most of them were by a former member, Florence Matani, and she made our uniform. So when all this week we're wearing different ones just to showcase that. So we're, and the drums too, as I said before, is we also make them. They're from former wine or whiskey barrels, and we put the skins on.
How do you do that? How do you get the skins on?
It's quite a process. It takes about 3 days with a lot of jacks and ropes and hydraulic presses. So yeah, it's quite involved.
No doubt. And then to learn these, it must take a while as well. How many people are within the group learning and coordinating?
It's quite a large group. Yeah, we have 20-ish. And if you want to learn, we have workshops coming up. You can look at our website, and we have classes through the year. So a lot of chances to learn taiko.
If people come to Folklorama, the show is a huge part of it. What can people expect from the show this year?
A lot of different drumming, and with the alumni, we're definitely bringing the big band sound. We have sometimes 17 plus people on stage, so it's a lot of drummers. Big show, big sound. You don't just hear the drums, you can feel it.
Okay, let's put that to the test. I learned something. Would you say it's simple? I learned something earlier. I'm going to put my microphone down.
Maybe we're going to do Oroshi Roll.
Well, Oroshi Roll.
Some songs sometimes.
Okay.
Ready?
Go.
We're going to start with a big hit.
Yay!
That's not what we practiced.
Good work. That was fantastic. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Are we clear?
Thank you.
Very impressive, Ainsley. Very impressive.
How's it feeling out there, Terry?
Only had one lesson. It's feeling good. It's looking good. The smoke, it has lifted, and that is the happiest news that I have to share with everybody today, because across the entire province, we've been dealing with that heavy smoke for so long. And today, according to Environment Canada, no warnings in place for anyone. And even when I've been checking visibility in some of the areas further north where we've been expecting the air quality to be so much worse, you're back up to 24 kilometers visibility, as are we here in Winnipeg. So yeah, everything is starting out on a beautiful note this morning. The sun is shining, the winds are calm, the pressure rising, and the humidity at 99%. 13 degrees, that's up from 9. It was even cooler yet this morning, slightly below seasonal. And even as we make those gains today, will remain slightly below seasonal pretty much across the entire province. Southwestern Manitoba might get up into seasonal or even slightly above. 26 degrees expected in places like Neepawa, Brandon, when 25 is normal for this time of year. We'll be just shy of that, making for a very pleasant day, especially for those that don't like those mid to high 20 temps, because we're going to get back to those tomorrow. Now, northern Manitoba, the northwest may see a little bit of precipitation today. The rest of us could be seeing more of that precipitation on tap for tomorrow, and that's the day the temperatures spike, but only for a day. Then for the weekend or the end of the week and weekend, we're back to these really pleasant low to mid 20 temperatures, and the sun will be shining once again. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Manitoba farmers are once again caught in the crosshairs of a trade dispute. China is tacking a nearly 76% duty on Canadian canola imports. As CTV's Daniel Halmerson shows you, it's retaliation after Canada imposed tariffs on Chinese electric vehicle imports last summer.
Curtis McRae has been planting these fields northwest of Selkirk for nearly 40 years. And he says Manitoba summers typically turn canola crops into cash.
It has the right amount of heat, the right amount of not so heat sometimes to make a really nice oil product at the end of the day.
However, this growing season has been riddled with uncertainty.
The drought really hit us hard, and canola really needed a lot more water than it got.
And the hits just keep on coming for McRae and thousands of other canola farmers in Manitoba. On Tuesday, China announced it is imposing a 75.8% duty on Canadian canola imports, the latest blow in a trade dispute between the two countries.
Now that we're on the cusp of harvest is, well, just one more thing to throw on my shoulders or one more thing to forget about until harvest is done.
According to the province, Manitoba farmers plant around 3.3 million acres of canola annually. The crop accounts for nearly a quarter of all farm cash receipts in Manitoba, and canola seed exports generate more than $1 billion for Manitoba's economy in an average year.
That'll be a prohibitive tariff. That will likely stop trade. We cannot absorb that kind of extra costs in selling canola to China.
McRae says if Canada and China can't strike a deal soon, many farmers will need to pivot.
I think the biggest shift you'd see would be a shift to soybeans or even wheat right now, because all three of those products pretty much come into the same dollars per acre.
But for now, his focus is getting these crops harvested.
Another beatdown on the farmer who has very little political influence, but at the end of the day, put our head down, get some work done, and see what happens, because, I mean, the goal of every farmer is to try again next year.
My Girl, What You Gonna Do, and Fly at Night are iconic Canadian rock classics. Canadian band Chilliwack has been sharing those platinum songs with millions of fans for more than 55 years. With 12 albums, 15 gold and platinum certifications, and after being inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, the legendary rock band is hitting the road one last time with its Farewell to Friends tour, which is making its way to Winnipeg. Canada's legendary rock band Chilliwack is part of Sunday night's Burt Block Party, headlining Kim Mitchell and Harlequin. Joining us now is Chilliwack lead singer Bill Henderson. Good morning, Bill.
Hi, Rochelle. Good morning to you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Wow, what a career. Looking back on this, what are some of the highlights that you've had? So many, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, that's a good question. You know, My Girl was a big hit for us. We've had lots of hits, but that was kind of the biggest, I guess. And I remember one time you know, you're always wondering how people are responding to your song. And I was driving down the road, and there was a flag girl bopping around in the road, you know, dancing to our song. And that was a very cool thing. That's like it hit the street. It hit real people.
That is incredible. You have so many Canadian classic rock anthems. Really, your music and songs have been a part of Canada's mosaic. You're now on your farewell tour. How does it feel being at this point in your career?
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I don't really know. I don't know what the future is, you know, so we're not going to be playing anymore. I don't know what's going to be happening for myself, but it just feels like that time this is the right time, and so I'm happy to do it. We're having a fantastic time with all the people who are coming out. We get lots of sold out houses, and people are having a wonderful time, and that just feels good, you know. Farewell to Friends. It's Friends, yeah.
Absolutely. You'll be performing with many other iconic Canadian bands on Sunday, like Kim Mitchell and Harlequin. What does it mean to you to be a part of the Burt Block Party on Sunday night?
It's very cool. I think I was a part of it a few years back with Great Big Sea. I think that was the first time I did it. The Chilliwack did it, and that was a blast. And, you know, we get to work with all these people like Kim and Harlequin and many, many, many other Canadian bands. For the last 30 years, we've been touring around the country doing that, and it's great fun. You know, I love so many great performers, and, you know, they're good people. I really enjoy being with them.
And the experience of being at the Burt Block Party, I'm sure, is pretty cool as well, because you're basically in the middle of Winnipeg, a great skyline.
Yeah.
describe to me what this performance will mean in your heart when you're saying goodbye to Winnipeg fans for the last time.
Well, that's a hard thing to describe. It's just how you feel, and it's really warm. It's kind of elated. We're just having a great time together. Everyone's having a great time, and I love it because you make mistakes or whatever, and people don't even realize it. But sometimes I walk up to the mic and I forget what I'm going to say, and it's kind of a moment of levity for all. I remember one time it happened, and I walked up and I said something, and then I stopped. I didn't know what to say next, and they could tell I didn't know, and it got real quiet. And I said, "I know what you're thinking. You're thinking Biden, right?"
Well, Bill, thank you so much for sharing. We don't know what we're going to do when you're gone. Congratulations on an amazing career.
Thank you, Rochelle. Good to talk to you.
That is
legends.
Wow, no kidding. So many good songs.
Oh my goodness, no kidding. Yeah, rack them up.
You just sit outside and listen to it tonight.
All day long, right? Yeah, into the night. It's going to be gorgeous. 13 degrees is where we're sitting right now with no wind whatsoever. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 99%. It's been beautiful. It's been sunny. It's been clear of the smoke. That's the best news that I have. This empty map that I've been loving showing you all morning long. No warnings in place no matter where you are in the province. Air quality has improved drastically. A few extra clouds across parts of northern Manitoba. That's where there will be a bit of precipitation today. For everybody else, mix of sun and cloud, but our temperatures aren't going to be hot today. We're actually going to be a little bit shy of seasonal when 25 degrees is normal for this time of year. We'll be topping out at about 23. Now, tomorrow we will spike a little bit up to 28 degrees, and while northwestern Manitoba will be the one place to see the precipitation today, many of us at risk of showers or thunderstorms on tap tomorrow. With that one day of heat before we're settling back into really pleasant temperatures, sunshine returns as we're looking ahead to the weekend, and these mid-20s not just through the weekend. It looks like we've got a stretch of days to continue into the start of next week. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center.
Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, Terry, some grandpas are serious. This one lets the kiddos have fun at his expense. Check this out.
He was honored with
What you got? Oh! Watches his grandson launches suction arrows from above right on his bald head. When two of them land perfectly, he turns into Shrek. He certainly does. Look at that. It's a perfect Shrek.
Watch how hard they are to get off, too.
Ooh, ouch. What a sport. Wow. That's
good.
Indeed. Well, finally, if you're hitting the link soon, take some notes.
A little too hard there, man.
But look at her, look at her.
What? Never you mind giving her tips. She knows what she's doing.
Check out this golfing granny. Everyone thought she hit it way too hard, but that hole-in-one speaks for itself, and she's got the dance moves.
Yes, I love it.
You go, Granny.
Celebrate.
She's got it. There it is. And that does it for us. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.